Leading off for the Montreal Expos today, Warren Cromartie. Crow will be leading off and playing first base. Batting second in left field, Jerry White. White in left field, batting second. Hitting third, Andre Dawson in center field. Dawson will bat third and play center field. In the cleanup spot, Gary Carter. Carter hitting cleanup, and he'll do the catching. Larry Parrish at third base. He'll bat fifth. Parrish at third base, batting fifth. Timmy Wallach in right field today. Of course, Timmy, a right-handed batter, in there against the left-handed throwing Steve Carlton. Wallach in right field, batting sixth. Chris Spire at shortstop, batting seventh. Spire. Hitting eighth, Jerry Manuel at second base. Manuel hitting eighth. He'll play second base. And on the mound today with a season record of 12 wins and 8 losses, Steve Rogers. Rogers will bat ninth. For the Philadelphia Phillies, a couple of changes in their lineup. Leading off will be Lonnie Smith. Lonnie Smith in center field. He'll lead off. Batting second will be Pete Rose. Rose will hit second, and he'll play first base. Here's their first change. Hitting third today, the hero of yesterday's game, George Vukovic, will play right field, and he'll hit third in place of Bake McBride. Vukovic in right field. Mike Schmidt will hit cleanup. He'll play third base. Schmidt. Gary Matthews will play left field. He'll hit fifth. Matthews. At second base today, Manny Trio. Manny Trio will hit sixth. He'll play second base. Larry Boa, shortstop. He'll bat seventh. Larry Boa playing shortstop. Bob Boone will do the catching today in place of Keith Moreland. Boone will bat eighth, and he'll do the catching. And on the mound today with a record during the regular season of 13 wins and 4 losses will be Steve Carlton. Of course, he'll be batting ninth. Carlton on the year, as we said, was 13-4. He was 0-1 in this series. That loss, of course, to Steve Rogers. Last year, he was 24-9. He'll be making his second start of the series. In that game, Carlton lost to Rogers. Hit 6 innings. He allowed 3 runs, all earned on 7 hits, walked 5, and struck out 6. Carlton is 1-1 in 3 starts versus the Expos this year, winning on April 29th and losing on October 7th. He pitched 10 shutout innings in that famous 17-inning 1-0 loss on September 21st with no decision. He made Tim Wallach his 3,000th strikeout victim on April 29th and then fanned Andre Dawson with the bases loaded in the 3rd inning on September 21st to move ahead of Bob Gibson on the all-time National League list with 3,117 strikeouts. Carlton is 20-18 lifetime versus the Expos. He's made 47 career starts versus Montreal. And we'll be back with Steve Rogers' record, but we'll return with the start of the game in just a moment. Okay, Tommy Hutton back again with Ron Roos here in Philadelphia. And before this game is about to get underway, let me tell you that this broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Montreal Baseball Club Limited, solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Montreal Baseball Club Limited is prohibited. Talk a little bit about Steve Rogers today. Steve, of course, is 1-0 in this series. It was 12-8 in the regular season and 16-11 last year. He's 114 and 113 lifetime. Steve is making his second start of the series. In that first start, of course, Rogers beat Carlton in the first game on October 7th, where he pitched 8 2/3 innings, allowed 1 run on 10 hits, walked 2, and he struck out 3. Since August 10th, since the start of the second season, Rogers is 6-4 in 10 starts with a 1.82 ERA. 73 2/3 innings pitched, 55 hits, 17 runs, 15 earned runs, 17 walks, and 49 strikeouts. In his last 11 starts, Steve has a 7-4 mark with 3 shutouts and a 1.63 ERA. Rogers is 3-1 versus the Phillies this year, winning on April 20th, September 27th, and of course October 7th, and losing on October 29th to Carlton. Lifetime versus the Phillies, Steve is 17-14. Steve finished the season in the top 10 in 1981, 6th in the innings pitched with 161, 5th in complete games, 4th fourth in wins, 10th in strikeouts, and 4th in shutouts. And here to go with the first pitch with the play-by-play is Ron Root.
Thanks, Tommy. Good afternoon, everyone. Steve Carlton, the left-hander, on the mound, and in the wind facing Warren Cromartie. The pitch on its way and it's fouled straight back, and this ball game is underway. Strike one to Cromartie. Crow batting .278 in the series, has 5 hits and 18 at-bats, has an RBI, 2 doubles in the series. The pitch to Crow. Fastball for a strike in the inside corner. 0-2 on Cromartie. He'll be followed by Jerry White and Andre Dawson here in the top of the first. They play Crow straight away. The pitch to him. Swung on, fouled back again. No balls, 2 strikes on Cromartie. I guess the thing you have to do against Steve Carlton is guard against overswinging. The pitch to Crow, swung on and missed, strike 3. Well, Cromartie didn't throw a ball to Cromartie, or at least Carlton didn't throw a ball to Cromartie.
Well, that was his slider. It was a good pitch. It wasn't really a bad pitch to lay off of because it was a strike. Crow just swung right through it.
Here's Jerry White batting right-handed against Carlton, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. Where Carlton has now thrown 5 pitches, and all of them have been strikes. In the wind, Carlton delivers again, and the pitch is taken high and away. Now it evens at 1-1.
Steve Carlton, of course, the type of pitcher who works quickly, and sometimes when he gets in a groove, you have to step out, as Jerry White just did then.
Now Jerry being played shaded around towards right as a right-handed batter. The pitch taken on the outside corner for a strike. A ball and 2 strikes. Well, remember that ball game, the long ball game at Olympic Stadium, the 17-inning one, which was scoreless for Carlton into the 10th inning. He didn't get a decision in that game. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3 on a fastball. 2 up and 2 down by a strikeout. And the batter will be Andre Dawson. Andre, who is hitting well for average in the series at .313, but is lacking the snap to his bat that I think he'd like to have. The interesting thing about Dawson is I think he's adjusted somewhat because the bat isn't perhaps as quick as he'd like, and he's still getting the hit.
Well, you have to adjust. That's the mark of a veteran and a real pro like Andre Dawson.
Here's the pitch to Hawk, and it's taken outside. 1-0. 2 out here in the top of the first inning. Carlton in the wind. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, fouled back.
Ron, speaking of that 17-inning game in which the Expos did come out on top, I'm sure they would be more than happy to stay here 17 innings if the results were the same.
It may kill us all, though. That ball game had everybody with the fingernails down to the bone. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Hawk, and the fastball misses outside, and it's 2-1. 2 out, Carter on deck. Top of the first inning. The pitch swung on and popped foul up over our head into the upper deck. Not a big crowd again here at Veterans Stadium. Between 35 and 40,000. Counts 2-2, and the pitch by Carlton swung on and missed, strike 3, and Carlton strikes out the side in the first inning. Nothing across for the Expos in the first. We played a half inning here. The score of the Expos, nothing. The Phillies coming to bat.
Well, Steve Rogers takes his warm-up pitches on the mound. Let's go over the umpires for today's game. Behind the plate is John Kibler. Over at first base is Jerry Crawford. At second base is Terry Tata. Third base is Frank Foley. Down the left field line is Bruce Fremming. And down the right field line is Billy Williams. One thing about today's game, it's another one of those days where the sun is in and out. It seems like one inning the sun will be behind the clouds, and the next inning it will be out. And so the outfielders, of course, will have to take their glasses out there. And here at Veterans Stadium, it's a tough ballpark when that sun is shining directly on the black tarp behind center field. It makes for quite a reflection in the hitter's eyes. But after a couple of innings, that should go away. Steve Rogers has completed his pitches. Lonnie Smith is ready to step into the batter's box, and here's Ron.
Tommy Smith, the right-handed batter, has had a good series here, batting .267, 4 for 15 after an excellent year. Just in his second year in the major leagues. Had a good rookie season. Pitched by Rogers. Swung on, popped up, Coming over near the line is Manuel. Calling for it is Cromartie. He makes the catch just in foul territory, and 1 out on 1 pitch.
Smith, of course, was a questionable starter today, Ron. He came out of that game yesterday with a spike wound on his forearm. Did not require any stitches. I talked to him. It said it didn't bother him too much and he wanted to play.
Well, the always dangerous Pete Rose coming up with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. You'll see 2 different kinds of games pitched here from Rogers and Carlson. Carlson, a power pitcher. You'll see 2 different kinds of games pitched here from Rogers and Carlson. Carlson, a power pitcher. The game in gear, you'll see a lot of ground ball outs. Throws that sinker. Rose batting left-handed against Rogers. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball taken inside. That's 2 straight fastballs Rogers has thrown. 1-1 the count. George Vukovich on deck, the hero of yesterday's ball game. The pitch swung on, fouled back, and it's 1-2. I imagine people around North America saying, George who? There was a Pete Vukovich very much involved in the game last night against the Yankees. But who's this George Vukovich? Well, they found out. Here's a ground ball up the middle past Manuel out into center field and a base hit. Rose scored with a 1-out single. Just good hitting on the part of Rose as he reached out and tapped that one up the middle. Standing ovation for George Vukovich here at Veterans Stadium.
Well, the pitch that Pete Rose hit was also up a little bit by Steve Rogers. He didn't get it down in the strike zone like he would have liked it to be.
Vukovich has had 5 at-bats in this series and is batting .800, 4 for 5 with the home run. Left-handed hitter facing Rogers. The pitch swung on and missed on the sinker. Count 0-1. Big breaking ball when it's working for Steve. Rogers set. Checks the runner. Here's the pitch. The fastball taken high. 1-1.
Of course, George Vukovich, like an awful lot of pinch hitters, comes off swinging that fastball. So he comes off the bench. He is a dead fastball hitter. So to get him out, you have to be able to control your breaking ball.
Houston playing at Dodger Stadium to decide that series. Amazing what's happened in the playoffs this year. Here's the pitch and a breaking ball missed inside, and it's 2-1. Of course, Houston got the 2-0 lead in that series on 2 very close ball games at the Astrodome. Seems like everything is close at the Astrodome.
Oh, yes, it is.
You've got to play what they call the inner game to win that ballpark. 2-1 pitch and a called strike. Fastball that time, and it's 2-2.
They had a couple of pretty good pitchers going in that game, too. Nolan Ryan against Jerry Royce.
Royce, who's come into his own as a Dodger just in the last 2 years. Everybody said he was a quality pitcher, but he just never demonstrated. There's a ground ball to the right side, picked up by Cromartie, throws to second for 1. There'll be no play back to first base, but they get the lead runner and there's 2 out. So Vukovich on a fielder's choice. The play went 3-6 at second base. 2 out, and Mike Schmidt's the batter. Schmidt, who set the tone of the ball game yesterday with a 2-run homer in the first inning. After Bake McBride had reached on a high chopper over the mound, a play that could have been the 3rd out.
Very good play, by the way, by Warren Cromartie. He took his time. He only had a play to get 1. It wasn't a double play ball. And he took his time and made a good throw to Chris Beyer to get the 4th at second base.
That's in that play is why you like to see a left-hander playing that position. The pitch is taken for a strike. He has the runner going down from first. He throws from the left side, which means that he's away from the runner, not throwing at his back. And it's a difficult play to make. I think one of the toughest in baseball is that 3-6-3 double play.
It's a pretty one when made correctly.
Very nicely, yes. The pitch. Swung on and looped out into left field. Jerry White over for it. He's got it. Holding at second is George Vukovich, and Schmidt's aboard with a single. So with 2 out, runners on first and second for Gary Matthews. see a bit of stirring down in the Expos bullpen. Of course, there's no tomorrow for either of these teams.
We'll talk about that in a little while because I had talked to Jim Fanning about how he was going to use his pitchers today, and we'll bring that up a little later.
Rogers wants Carter to go through the signs again.
Of course, with a man on second base, the signs are usually a little different. Pitcher doesn't want that runner at second to tip off the signs to the hitter.
Matthews, a right-handed batter, batting .438 in the series. Here's the pitch. And the fastball is outside, and Carter thinks perhaps Rogers missed the sign. He's coming out to talk to him. Carter a bit fooled on that.
That happens. The catcher, as I said, changes the signs. They're a different way because the runner at second base can sometimes pick them up and tip off the hitter. Talking about the bullpen, Jim Fanning said he was going to go with anybody. Everybody down there, any pitcher today is available. Ray Burris, Bill Gullickson, Bill Lee, everybody's ready.
Rogers set on the mound. Runners on first and second, 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. No score in the game. He's set. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and a curveball missed outside, and it's 2-0. Manny Trio on deck. Steve Carlton, if you just joined us, struck out the side in the top of the first. Rogers set. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball, ground ball for the shortstop. Fire. He'll go to second for the fourth, for the side's retired. In the inning, no runs. There were 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. We played an inning at Veterans Stadium, and it's the Expos nothing, the Phillies nothing. Second inning now, and Gary Carter stepping in against Steve Carlton. The pitch to Gary, and it bounces through the strike zone and back to the screen behind home plate. Ball 1. It hit the dirt just at Gary's feet. I guess you can tell Gary's getting some respect. The fans are booing him and visiting ballparks now. Here's the pitch to Gary, and it's taken outside, and it's 2-0. Carter, batting .467 in the series, has 7 hits. 5 of those 7 hits were extra bases, 2 home runs and 3 doubles. He's driven in a run. The pitch. Swung on, ground ball, base hit, left field. Matthews up with it out there, bobbled it momentarily, but Carter holds it first as he gets it in quickly. So Carter continues to hit the ball well. And here's Larry Parrish.
Gary Carter, of course, has always had pretty good success off Steve Carlton, so he continues it right there with that base hit.
Carter continues to hit the ball well at Veterans Stadium. What about that, Tommy? Is it just the background? Is it the way the place looks for a batter? What is it that makes a batter hit well in certain parks? Here's the pitch to Parrish. Swings and misses. Strike 1.
Well, I mentioned yesterday we did talk to Gary about it, and the only clue he could offer was the background was nice and the ball carries well here. He really had no other information he could give me. He just likes to hit here.
The pitch. Outside. 1-1 the count. Larry Parrish. Well, if he's ever going to break out of it, today's the day. But when he breaks out of a slump, he usually thunders the ball. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed on a fastball. It's 1-2.
Well, Steve Carlton's pitching Larry Parrish a little differently than he did in Montreal. Up there, he's throwing mostly sliders. Right here, he's throwing him a couple of fastballs.
Carlton in the stretch. The pitch to Parrish, and he reaches out and loops that to the right, out of play.
I had to wonder, during the break we had between innings, the organ player was playing On the Road Again. I wonder if they were playing that for the Expos or the Phillies.
For one, it will be. Here's the pitch to Parrish, and he missed with it, and the count goes to 2-2 on Larry Parrish. On deck is Tim Wallach. Wallach hit a double against Carlton in the game last week, so many days ago it seems now. Here's the pitch, and outside, ball 3 and a full count to Larry Parrish. The thing about Carlton in that game was the walk total. He walked 5 in 6 innings, and that is very un-Steve Carlton-like. Carter leading. The throw is over to first. They've got Carter picked off. Rose running down to second. Carlton now coming over to cover the throw, and out at first. On the tag by Carlton is Gary Carter. They froze Gary Carter off the bag. He had no choice but to go down to second base.
of course, with that good move to first base. However, in that situation, with the count 3-2, I'm sure Gary was running there, but you have to play it as a base runner, like a hit and run, and not get picked off. Not a good play by Gary Carter.
Well, the count of 3-2 on Parrish. The pitch swung on, fly ball, right center field. Over for it is Vukovic. He's under it and makes the catch. 2 away. That play went 1-3 to 4-1. They're scoring at home. And stepping in is Wallach. Wallach 1 for 3 in the series. Played just the one game against Carlton. He faced him twice. Scored a run. Swings and misses on the first pitch.
Well, a good play by Carlton also on that pickoff to hustle over to first base and make the tag.
Well, things like that have helped decide ball games. The pitch to Wallach is taken inside. Wallach has shortened his swing up a little bit to get base hits. He is a power hitter. Not shown a lot of that yet, but will in his career. The pitch swung on and fouled away to the right. Wallach at Denver last year batted .281, hit 36 homers and drove in 124 runs. Came out of the college ranks. California State Fullerton. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's outside. It's even at 2-2. During the regular season, his rookie year, and with limited appearances at the plate, he batted .236. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Ground ball for the shortstop, Boa. He's got it. Throw on to first in time to retire Wallach. In the inning, no runs, a hit, no errors, nobody left on base. We played an inning and a half here at Veterans Stadium, and it's the Expos nothing, the Phillies nothing. Ron Roche along with Tommy Hutton here at Veterans Stadium on a pleasant afternoon. The temperature's almost mild comparatively, and a partly cloudy day. Tommy mentioned the clouds sort of scudding across the sky here, sun in and out. And Steve Rogers into his second inning, pitching to Manny Trio, Larry Boa, and Bob Boone here. No score in the ball game. The pitch, and a fastball for a strike at the knees. Steve throwing that fastball a little more often than I thought he would early in the ball game.
He likes to do that, to just take command and take charge of his pitches. He moves it. It's not a straight fastball. It's a sinking fastball.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's the breaking ball, and he got it in for a strike, and it's 0-2, and very quickly he's ahead on Manny Trio. Trio batting .083. He has 1 hit in 12 at-bats. Swung on and looped up back of second base. Back for it is Manuel. He reaches for it, and he's got it. 1 away. The batter will be Larry Boa. Boa batting .214, has 3 hits in the series. He's driven in a run. One of his 3 hits, a double. Boa coming off one of his best years. Here's the 283 batter. Hits a fly ball to center field, and Dawson's there to make the catch. 2 out. That's a good sign.
Yes, it is, because he's been swinging the bat very well.
And Bob Boone, who is making his first start in the series as a catcher. He has made 2 plate appearances. He's 0 for 2. Second inning, Houston and Los Angeles, no score. The pitch, and a fastball for a strike.
Interesting story about Bob Boone. When he was a catcher here along with Timmy McCarver, Steve Carlton would only throw to McCarver. Now here he is wanting to throw to Bob Boone rather than Keith Moreland.
The pitch and a high pop-up foul territory. Coming over near the seats is Cromartie, but that's well up into the seats. And the count's 0-2 on Boone.
Larry Boa talked to him before the game, and he said that he thought Boone was in the game to catch Steve Carlton because of the trouble lefty had up in Montreal with Keith Moreland behind the plate.
Well, Moreland started catching Carlton in early August. Boone was not hitting very well. Here's the 0-2 pitch, swung on, ground ball for the shortstop Spire. He's got it, throw to first, in time, and a 3-up, 3-down inning for Steve Rogers and the Expos against the Phillies. We've completed 2 here at Veterans Stadium. The Expos nothing, the Phillies nothing. Back at Veterans Stadium, Steve Carlton facing here in the 3rd inning, Chris Spire. No score in the ball game. Dave Van Horn here to call the play-by-play. Dave, see if he can get us a couple of runs.
Okay, got 2 yesterday, but for the wrong team. Moreland drove in a pair. Glad he's not in there today. Chris Spire swinging on the first pitch. Pops one up down the right field line. Foul territory. Vukovic makes the play. So Spire, who was first ball hitting here in our home run inning and batting for Pierre Levy of St. Jerome, it's a pop foul down the right field line that Vukovic put away. 1 down. And the batter, Jerry Manuel, coming up. Tommy?
Vukovic made a pretty good play on that. He reached over into the stands, and by putting him in the lineup, they really don't lose too much defensively. Bake McBride, not a real outstanding right fielder, and George Vukovic can hold his own out there and probably throws a little bit better also.
Jerry Manuel, the second baseman, swings and doesn't get the pitch. Strike 1. He's batting for Albert Demir of St. Hubert. $700 in the Gillette jackpot. Carlton working. Jerry 1 for 11 now in the playoffs. Carlton missing inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. No score here. There's no score in Los Angeles. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2. The Yankees playing Milwaukee tonight. And the A's are sitting at home watching it all, laughing.
That's right. They're relaxed. They can get their pitching in order. And they just don't know where to fly to yet.
Right. That's a nice problem to have. Carlton goes to work. Jerry Manuel swings and misses. Strikeout number 4 for Carlton. 2 down, and Steve Rogers coming up. And Rogers will bat for Jeanine Lausanne of La Rochelle in Quebec, and it's a double payoff. What do we have? $1,400 payoff here. Rogers swinging, missing, strike 1. Steve Rogers, 8 hits in 55 at-bats on the season. He is 0 for 2 in the playoffs, and Rogers takes low. A ball and a strike. Well, I suppose this one is starting off as one would expect. The pitch missed outside. 2-1.
So far, Dave, Carlton seems to be throwing a lot more fastballs than sliders.
Carlton's fastball is fouled back. Rogers just ticked it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 hit, a base hit by Gary Carter leading off the second. That's all the Expos have to show so far. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and Carlton missed outside. What did he do with that pitch?
It was just a fastball away. It looked like he tried to turn it over, though.
Yeah, he did something on the mound, either with his arm or in his delivery, that looked a little different. There's a pitch and a ground ball, base hit up the middle. See how easy it is?
Well, that's a plus right there when Steve Rogers can get a base hit off Steve Carlton.
2 hits for the Expos. Rogers on with a base hit. 2 down, and Warren Cromartie up. He struck out to lead off the ball game. He'll bat for Marie Blanche Borin of Hull, Quebec. $700 in the jackpot. Rogers getting into the warm-up jacket at first base.
Pitchers, of course, will say that too, Dave. They'll come back into the dugout with a little chuckle and say, see, guys, how easy it is?
Right, nothing to it, boys. Rose is going to play behind Rogers. The left-handed batter up there, Warren Cromartie. Now 5 for 19. The pitch. Missed inside, ball 1. Carlton looking right at the runner. Deals, Cromartie swings and misses. Strike 1. points are on the sun for the most part in and out. I suppose the sun has been in more than it's been out since the game started. Leading up to game time, it had been quite sunny. Cromartie swinging and missing. Strike two. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs, 1 on.
And that time Crow chased a bad breaking ball out of the strike zone.
Carlton delivers. Cromartie takes low and in. 2-2. 36-year-old Steve Carlton, born in Miami. Here's the pitch. The runner goes, and a chopper foul at home plate. Steve Rogers off and running, and Cromartie fouled the 2-2 pitch.
Steve, of course, with a pretty good lead down there because Pete Rose, not expecting him to steal, is playing behind him. However, the pitch before, Pete, being the alert player that he is, was bluffing Steve back to the base.
Again, Rogers taking his lead at first base. He's shortened it up a bit right now as Carlton looks over that way. The pitch to Cromartie. Swing and a miss. Carlton struck him out. That's the second time he has struck out Cromartie. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 5 in the game. No home run here. As a matter of fact, no runs at all. 1 hit and 1 left for the Expos. Midway in the third, no score in the game. Will lead off the bottom of the third. No score here in Philadelphia. Carlton, Smith, and Rose against Steve Rogers. Carlton 1 for 2 against Rogers last Wednesday. Swings on the first pitch, pops it up foul behind third. Parrish over near the seats, and he's got it. Down deep behind third base, about 60, 70 feet over toward the seats, and he made the play. Down and Lonnie Smith up. He popped up to Cromartie in the first inning.
LP, of course, had a few Philly fans down in that third base foul line area trying to get in his way, too.
Right. Any closer to the seats there, and they would have been tugging at his arms. And the third base umpire would have had a call to make. There's a line shot to left. Backing up a few steps is the left fielder, Jerry White, and he's got it, and Lonnie Smith is out. Let's see, just looking at what that might be the hardest hit ball off Rogers in the game so far. Trying to picture, well, Rose's line drive wasn't too shabby. Schmidt with a ground ball single through the left side. That might have been the hardest hit ball.
Yes, it was. Lonnie Smith hit that ball very hard, right on the nose, and it was sinking a little bit, which is a little better than having it go over Jerry White's head.
Yeah. Any day. 2 out, nobody on, Rose up. A base hit up the middle his first time around. He takes low and in, ball 1. Houston at Los Angeles, no score in the second. We're scoreless here in the third. They've got Jerry Royce for the Dodgers and Nolan Ryan for the Astros. Carlton and Rogers here. Wow. What a way to wind up the division series in the National League.
Some pretty good pitchers pitching today.
Here's the windup and the 2-0 pitch. Rose takes a strike. Got 4 airplanes sitting around. 2 of them don't know whether or not they'll fly today. The other 2 know they're going to fly. They don't know where they're going to go. 3-1 now to Rose.
But then again, it's a nice dilemma to be in.
Isn't it nice? Right.
Better to be here worrying about that than to be sitting home watching these games on television.
Rogers goes to work. The pitch, and Rose swings and hits a foul ball. Down behind third again. Parrish looking. It's into the first row of the seats. Parrish couldn't get there. 3-2 to Pete Rose.
Well, that one was far enough out of LP's reach. He said, you can have that one.
Expos with 2 hits, the Phillies with 2 hits. Here's a 3-2 pitch to Rose. And a little bouncer to Parrish. Larry has it, gets it on to first, and that's it for the Phillies. They've gone 1, 2, 3. We have completed 3 with no score in the game.
Fourth inning. Ron Rouge along with Tommy Hutton here at Veterans Stadium. Jerry White, Andre Dawson, and Gary Carter here in the fourth. White struck out as Carlton struck out the side in the top of the first inning. Struck out swinging. Jerry with just 2 hits in the series, 2 for 15 now. The pitch to him, and it's taken outside, ball 1. The pitch by Carlton, swung on and missed, strike 2. Correct that, 1-1 the count. 1-1. I'd like to say hello to all of our listeners, wherever you may be. On the Expos network, the pitch swung on and fouled straight back. No score in this ball game. The count is 1-2 on Jerry White. Listeners across Canada, New York State, listening on WSNO in Barrie, Vermont, and overseas on the Canadian Armed Forces Network, CFN, in Lahr, Baden-Zillingen, Ramstein, and Heidelberg in Germany. The pitch, and it's taken for a ball, and the count evens at 2-2, and also in Brunsum in the Netherlands. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, line drive, dropping in left field for a base hit, and White is aboard with a single to lead off the fourth inning. Now, Jerry White stole 2 bases on Steve Carlton in the opening game of this series. Jerry is make that 2 for 6 against Carlton now.
Gary Matthews again having trouble taking up that ground ball out in right field. He had trouble in the earlier on Gary Carter's base hit. So they may be a little tight out there too.
Carlton in the stretch. Here's the pitch to Dawson. No, he goes to first with it. Again, that borderline move that many people think is close to a balk as you can come without getting called on it. And there he comes again with it, and White is back again.
Well, Jerry getting a real aggressive lead. He has the 1 foot out on the turf, 1 foot on the dirt portion, and Jerry Crawford, the umpire, taking a good look.
And Jerry has got Carlton taped. He knows when he's throwing to first. He's making his move back to first as Carlton's coming. The fans don't realize, but there's a move in there somewhere that Jerry's picked out. Here comes the throw over again, and Jerry's back again. And that was not the A1 throw of Carlton in that instant.
Then give some credit to first base coach Steve Boros. He studies the pitchers very well.
Well, he studies a lot of things, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Here's the pitch to the plate, and the curveball is a strike on the outside corner.
Steve Boros carries a stopwatch on him at all times. He times runners to first base. He times the amount of time that takes the pitcher to go to first base to give a runner a jump.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2 on a fastball. Fouled that into the glove of Bob Boone, the catcher. Count 0-2. Expos out hitting the Phillies 3-2, but there's no score in the game here in the top of the fourth. Nobody out. White aboard on a single. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and grounded foul to the first baseman Rose. Count remains 0-2 on Hawk. Hawk just trying to hit it the other way that time, trying to move the runner to second.
Well, the count 0-2. Steve Carlton made a very good pitch, and Andre just tried to get a piece of it and hit it foul so he could hang in there and get another hack up there.
On deck is Gary Carter. Carter has been hitting the ball a ton in this series. Like to come up with a runner aboard. And the toss over to first, and White is back once again. Special hello along our network to News Radio Canada, their own network of stations, and also CKO stations in Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver. This one's fouled straight back, and it remains 0-2. So all Carlton's been throwing at Dawson is strikes.
I saw Max Patkin today in the hotel, the Clown Prince of Baseball, and he said to say hello to all his friends in Canada, too.
Well, he's got many of them. He's a barnstormer who's played, I guess, every park in North America one time or the other. Here's the throw to first, and again, White is back.
So you can tell Steve Carlton is concerned with Jerry White over there because he's thrown over there so many times. You don't see him do that very often.
Well, White successful stealing against him twice, so here's the throw to the plate. The pitch is swung on and grounded foul to the left again. And it's still 0-2. So a battle going on here. Carlton not only facing Dawson and throwing strikes to him, but has the problem of White at first base with nobody out. Doesn't want to see White down in scoring position with Gary Carter coming up especially. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back, and he just got a piece of it. Just enough to tick it back to the screen. Still 0-2.
Well, again, Hawk continues to battle.
Carlton in the stretch. And the throw will be to first. And again, back is White. White faces off that lead again. He's straddling the AstroTurf. Good, solid lead. The throw will be to the plate, and the pitch is taken high. Ball one on a fastball, and the count now is 1-2. He's thrown about 6 pitches to Dawson. 3 or 4 of them have been fouled off at 2 strikes. That was the first ball. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled at the plate. Still 1-2.
Well, it's a good sign to see Andre Dawson fouling off those tough pitches, because those aren't easy pitches to hit, and he's hanging in there. A lot of times you hit those balls fair for weak outs, but he's getting a second chance and a third and a fourth by fouling them off.
Well, eventually, of course, you get a real good look at the repertoire of the guy you're facing, and sometimes you don't. The pitcher doesn't like to see a guy fouling off, and a pitcher forced to pitch to a batter too much. Gets you timed pretty good. Starts looking for a pitch. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Well, that is strikeout number 6 for Steve Carlton with 1 out in the 4th inning. So Carlton's got his strikeout pitch working. That one is slider.
Well, he had to work for that one, too. That wasn't an easy one.
White still on first base, and Gary Carter will bat.
Now I think we can see Jerry White trying to steal on one of these next few pitches, because he wants to get into scoring position for Gary Carter, who has a hot bat.
Well, Jerry's seen an awful lot of Carlton, too, and the throw will be over to first base, and again, Jerry's back. And Jerry immediately opens up that big lead again as Carter steps back in. Carlton in the stretch. The throw will be to the plate, and the fastball is taken low and away, ball 1. Set. The throw will be to first, and again White is back. Well, so much rides on each at-bat, especially when both pitchers are going well. The throw to first, and White's back again. Rose holding on to the ball, now throws it back to Carlton. Special hello to all of our Ontario stations on the regular Expos network: CKBY FM Ottawa, CJBQ Belleville, CKAR Oshawa, and CKSO in Sudbury. Here's the pitch to the plate, and it's taken outside, and it's 2-0 on Gary Carter. In Nova Scotia, CJLS in Yarmouth, CHFX-FM in Halifax, CKPE in Sydney, and CKCL in Truro, Nova Scotia. CHTN in Charlottetown, PEI, also on the Expos network. Carlton in the stretch. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on and lifted high in the air. Center field, calling for it, is Lonnie Smith. He's under it and makes the catch, and retreating to first base is Jerry White. 2 out. And Larry Parrish will step in. In In Manitoba, our stations are CKLQ in Brandon and CISV in Morton, and in British Columbia, CJAT in Trail. Along with, of course, the CKO stations out there that are on our network. The pitch by Carlton. Swung on and missed. Strike one.
Are you a betting man, Ron?
Well, I've been known to drop a quarter on that thing.
Lay one down on Jerry White going pretty soon.
Well, all right. Here's the pitch. And a pitch out. They thought so, too. Ball 1-1-1. In New York, our stations are WPDM in Potsdam, WEAV in Plattsburgh, and WICY in Malone. Welcome aboard. There goes White, and he'll steal second. He's out of second. He got his chin up. He did not slide in, and sliding into the tag is Trio. It appeared that White had a tremendous break, but his foot was high in the air, and he didn't. He got that tag, that rearward foot in late, and Trio was able to put the tag down. So White is caught stealing 2-4. In the inning, no runs, a hit, no errors, nobody left on base. And after 3.5 here at Veterans Stadium, it's the Phillies nothing, the Expos nothing. Steve Rogers completing his warm-up tosses here in the 4th inning. No score in the game. The Expos out hitting the Phillies 3-2. Phillies left 2 aboard, and their 2 hits came in the 1st inning. They have been retired in order since then, the last 7 in a row. Rogers on the mound, fans who have followed Steve's career since he joined the ball club back in 1973 out of Quebec City and Peninsula, which was the AAA ball club at that time. The tremendous performances he's put in over the years and how many important games he's pitched. Pitch is taken high and in, ball 1 to George Vukovich. It'll be Vukovich, Schmidt, and Matthews here in the 4th. Rogers set. The pitch. Swung on and lined foul off to the left. Rogers has thrown 4 one-hitters in his career and in his 2nd major league start. July 26, 1973, he pitched here at Veterans Stadium. Jose Pagan got the only hit.
That's right. I played in that game, too.
The pitch. Swung on and lined foul again. And the count is 1-2 on Vukovich. Boy, he has gone down to the wire in a few. I broadcast a couple of his one-hitters. Pitch. Swung on and missed on a breaking ball, strike 3, and Steve records his first strikeout of the ball game. Steve used to be a strikeout pitcher, Tommy. As a matter of fact, used to be in the top 3 or 4 in the league in strikeouts. He doesn't strike him out as often as he did. He's changed his style somewhat, I would think.
Yes, he has over the last few years, but he still maintains a few strikeouts during the season. As a matter of fact, he was 10th in the league in strikeouts this year, so still not too bad.
He's made 3 trips to the All-Star game, pitched 4 shutout innings there. Some of them just overpowering innings. 3rd inning, no score in the Houston-LA game as the batter, Mike Schmidt, takes the pitch outside, ball 1. I think another real mark of Steve Rogers is his steadiness. He's always out there, very rarely misses many starts, and always pitches a lot of innings. Fastball for a strike. Taking all the way with Schmidt. Schmidt singled in the 1st inning, a very important out made by Warren Cromartie on Pete Rose. Rose singled with 1 out, and Vukovich grounded to 3rd base, and Crow went to 2nd for the lead man. Here's a fly ball, right field, but under it is Wallach, and he makes the catch. Well, Schmidt went the opposite way with that one. A little late on it, and just hit it to Wallach, who is about 5 feet in front of the warning track. Well, that right there is one of the reasons Mike Schmidt had such a successful season this year, especially hitting over 300 and hitting the ball all over, and he's strong enough that he can hit the ball out of right field. Gary Matthews with 2 out and a curveball, and he missed high with it, ball 1. Steve set the 1-0 pitch, and a line drive base hit left field. Up with it is Jerry White. He'll get it back in as Matthews holds at first with a 2-out single. batter will be Manny Trio. Hit a soft liner to Jerry Manuel. Back in the second inning to lead off. Comes up with 2 out and a runner aboard. The third Phillies hit. Nolan Ryan against Jerry Royce in that game at Dodger Stadium to decide the National League West Division winners. Boy, who would have bet that after the series were 2 games old, that we'd come down to 5th games in 3 of the 4 series. The Expos, the Astros, and the Yankees all had 2-0 leads, as did the Oakland A's. The A's, of course, wrapped it up in the minimum. The other 3 series, scene shifted, and the series gets tied up. There's a curveball, missed outside, 1-0.
Trio, of course, hasn't really been hitting the ball well in the series, but has made some very key defensive plays. The one yesterday on the bunt play where McGraw made a throw that looked like it might go down the right field line. Trio turned, caught it, fired to second. Tremendous play.
That was a key play all the way around, as it turned out. Here's the pitch. Swung on, line drive, center field. Coming over for it is Dawson. He's going to let it drop in front of him. Picks it up, rounding third. He's going all the way as Matthews, the plate is through, coming to the plate, and the call is out at the plate. Gary Matthews running all the way. Gary Carter got the perfect relay throw, and he made the tag at the plate, and Matthews didn't bother to slide at all.
Beautiful executed play, Ron. Andre Dawson up with the ball, threw into Jerry Manuel, who made a perfect strike throw to Gary Carter, and Gary held his ground because Matthews tried to jar it out without sliding. He rammed into him, but Gary held on for the final out.
Well, the play will go 8 to 4 to 2. And an out at the plate in the inning. No runs, 2 hits. No errors, 1 left on base. Completed 4 here at Veterans Stadium. A big play for the Expos, and the game is still scoreless. Parrish, the batter, facing Steve Carlton here in the 5th inning. No score in the ball game. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's taken outside, and it's 1-1 to Parrish. Jerry Matthews well out at the plate. Matthews not bothering to slide on that play, and a big play for the Expos as that pitch is fouled straight back, and it's 1-2 to Larry. And sometimes that kind of play can fire up a ball club. We'll see what happens.
That's right. Base hits do it, and sometimes a great play like that one was can do the same thing to pump up a team.
Pitch to Parrish, ground ball, base hit, left field. Parrish putting it in the gap between Boa and Schmidt, and the Expos get the leadoff runner aboard for the 2nd straight inning, and Tim Wallach will bat. This Parrish's 2nd hit. He's now 2 for 18.
I'm sure feeling a lot better after getting a base hit in this situation especially.
Here's the pitch to Wallach, and they expect Wallach to bunt, and they had at least Rose charging in from first base, perhaps trying to sacrifice Parrish down to second. Chris Fire on deck, Fire wielding a hot bat. Here's the pitch, taken low and away, ball 2, 2-0. I'll tell you, for Larry, he would rather, I think, consider that as his 2nd hit in his last 6 at-bats, and for those 6 at-bats, then he is batting .333.
That's a good way to look at it.
And the throw is over to first, and Larry is back. Extra baser. The pitch, taken low and away, and it's ball 3 to Tim Wallach. Clean single by Parrish to left field. And now 3-0 on Wallach. Here's the pitch. And he missed ball 4, and runners on first and second with nobody out. And
with that average and the way he's swinging the bat, I don't think he'll be bunting, but that is a possibility.
Well, infield playing in as the pitch is taken outside, and it's ball 1, and that's 5 straight balls now that Carlton has thrown here. Carlton, in the opening game of this series, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, walked 5 and 6 innings, far from his season average. Here's the pitch, and there's a strike on the outside corner, taken all the way by Spire, not indicating whether he's going to swing away or try and lay a bunt down.
Yeah, it looks good to see some blue uniforms out on the bases, too, doesn't it?
Right. No score in the game. Top of the 5th inning. Carlton in the stretch. And the pitch. And the fastball is taken high, and it's 2-1 to Spire. And he looks down at Ozzie Virgil for the sign. Carlton on the regular season pitched 190 innings and walked just 62. Here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball up the middle under the glove of Trio. He'll go to second for one. That's all they'll get. And now we've got runners on first and third with one away. Trio bobbled the ball and then flipped it to Boa. And they got the fourth at second base on Wallach, but Spire's aboard on a fielder's choice. And going to third on the play is Larry Parrish with one out. Score at 4-6 at second. We've got runners at first and third, and Jerry Manuel, the batter.
Well, that's a big play, and Manny Trio's kicking himself, because if he fields that ball cleanly, it's a double play. Now there's 2 outs, but with 1 out, a lot easier to get that runner in from third.
They pitch to Manuel, and he swings and misses. Strike 1. I see Manuel get a hit here because Steve Rogers on deck, although Rogers has a hit in the ball game.
There's always a possibility of a squeeze, too, Ron.
That's right. The pitch. And the fastball taken inside. 1-1 the count. Manuel had an incredible extra base percentage during the regular season. He didn't get up at bat that much. He was injured for much of the year. Injury early in the year. The pitch to Manuel, and it's inside, and it's 2-1. And now Carlton fighting his control a little bit.
Ozzie Virgil motioning to Jerry Manuel, bring the ball up and go to right field with him.
Here's the 2-1. Taken outside, and 3-1 the count on Manuel. One away, 5th inning, no score in the game. Carlton set. Here's the 3-1 pitch. All 4. And Jerry Manuel walks to load the bases with 1 out, and Steve Rogers will bat. Now, Rogers has a couple of sacrifices. He sacrificed twice against Carlton in the opening game of this series and went 0 for 1. Well, one thing that Steve does rather well is square around the butt and get those infielders pinching in and then slap the ball by them.
Yes, he does. He makes good contact as a pitcher up there in the batter's box.
Carlton set. The pitch. And he takes it low, ball 1.
Another thing, Steve Rogers has a very good eye at the plate. You don't see him chasing too many bad pitches. And he got that base hit in the last time up in the 3rd inning.
He looks down at Ozzie Virgil for the sign. Third base coach for the Expos. Now he's back in there. Carlton standing loose on the mound. Now to the stretch. The pitch swung on and fouled back. 1-1. Expos trying to break out in front of this ball game. No score. Top of the 5th.
Not only is Steve Rogers looking down at Ozzie Virgil, so is Bob Boone. He's trying to steal some signs, too.
Carlton set in the stretch. Here's the pitch to Rogers. Swung on, ground ball up the middle, base hit. Rogers will drive in 1-1. Rounding third is Spire. The throw is coming to the plate. Spire scores, and the Expos lead 2-0. Steve Rogers coast into second base on the throw. The Expos have a 2-0 lead on a single for 2 RBIs by Steve Rogers.
On that play, Ron, Jerry Manuel, who started out at first base, went to third base. Pete Rose cut the throw off from Lonnie Smith. I believe there may have been a play at the plate. I don't know. It would have been close, but he cut the throw off thinking he could get Jerry Manuel going to third, and he didn't. A good hustling play by Jerry Manuel, and a great sign to see Steve Rogers come through with a base hit in that situation.
2-0 Expos. Runners on second and third, 1 out in the top of the order, and Warren Cromartie. And I'll tell you, Steve Rogers is 2 for 2 in this game and has driven in the 2 runs. Here's the pitch to Crow. Swung on and missed. Strike 1 on a fastball. Expos out hitting the Phillies 5-4 in the ball game. Carlton in the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball to Rose. He'll check the runner coming down, and he'll just run Crow back. Nobody coming home from third. Crow ducks around a little bit, but he's out as Rose puts the tag on it. 2 away. Rose did the right thing. He fielded the ball, started towards the plate with Cromartie coming towards him. And he froze the runner manual at third base, of course. By doing that, Crow had nowhere to go and except to run into the clutches of Rose.
That's right. Jerry Manuel had no choice but to stay on third base.
3 unassisted on the put-out. The pitch to Jerry White, and he swings and misses. Strike 1. Expos with runners on second and third and 2 out now. Carlton set. White batting right-handed. The pitch. And he took it for a strike on the outside corner on a fastball.
Bill Carlton struggling a little with the slider, and right here he came back with 2 fastballs to Jerry White.
0-2 on White. White a switch hitter. The natural right-hander. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and he takes it outside, and it's 1-2. Jerry pretty well even on his average over his career. One side of the plate to the other. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, fly ball, but foul down the line. And into the steep home run distance, left field.
Yes, it was. Jerry White, of course, has hit some big home runs for the Montreal Expos left-handed, but Jerry has better power right-handed, actually.
Great pinch hitter is Jerry White. Has been playing regularly in this series. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and chopped out in front of the plate, but foul as it rolls off towards Ozzie Virgil in the third base coaching box, and it's still 1-2 on Jerry. Well, Jerry won a big game with a pinch hit home run down the stretch. 9th inning of a tie ball game against Pittsburgh. Expos pretty good off the bench now. White, of course, a switch hitter. John Milner, veteran who got a big pinch hit in yesterday's game. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ground ball to Schmidt. He's up with it. He'll tag Rogers. And that's it. But the Expos come up with 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. A couple of walks hurt the pitcher, Steve Carlton. So we played 4.5. And the Expos break in front, 2-0. At Veterans Stadium, and the Expos have a 2-0 lead against Steve Carlton, with Rogers pitching fairly well so far. He has allowed 4 hits, but 2-0 is not, of course, an insurmountable lead. We'll be seeing Larry Boa, Bob Boone, and Steve Carlton, the bottom third of the order. Steve Rogers set on the mound, and here's the pitch. And a fastball for a strike to Larry Boa. A 2-run single by Steve Rogers in the top of the 5th. The pitch. Swung on and fouled back, and it's 0-2 on Boa.
I'm sure Jim Fanning doubly pleased with the performance that Steve Rogers has put on so far today, not only pitching well, but 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs.
Steve with the pitch to Boa, and he swings and fouls it at the plate. 4th inning out in Los Angeles, no score in the game, Houston and L.A. And of course the winner of this ball game here this afternoon will be flying out tonight to either Houston or Los Angeles via charter. Here's the 0-2 fastball, and it's taken high by Boa. Every pitch, every batted ball, every move by the defense, of course, critical in sudden death. The pitch, and the fastball is taken low and in, and it's 2-2. and set. Rocks. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and again fouled off to the left. Rolling back towards the Expos dugout.
As we mentioned, both teams with airplanes waiting for them, not knowing where they're going to go.
Well, the Air Canada charter for the Expos will arrive in Montreal. Or at least they're here in Philadelphia. That pitch is taken inside and a full count on Larry Boa. So Rogers got ahead 0-2, and Boa's fouled off a couple. Had 2 strikes, and now he's worked it to a full count. So it'll be leaving Montreal just after this ball game ends to pick up the team. And it's one of those rare occasions during the season when the team just doesn't want to go home. Here's the 3-2, swung on and grounded foul to the right. That's Ruben Amaro, the first base coach.
Larry Boa, one player who really worked out an awful lot during the strike. I talked with him. He worked out with a couple of the other Philly players who were living in the area and did a lot of batting practice. Consequently, he hit over 300 for the second half of the season.
Rogers rocks. Here's the 3-2. Swung on. Right back to Rogers. He makes the catch. A line drive out to Steve Rogers, who just reached up to his left and speared it. It wasn't a hard shot, but Steve, who falls away to his left, just fell into that pitch, and that's about it.
That was just a great play, and like you said, anywhere else, Steve Rogers probably doesn't catch it, but he came off the mound, and if anyone's ever seen a highlight match, it looked like Steve speared it with a cesta.
1 out here in the 5th. Rogers set. Pitch to Bob Boone. The pitch to him. Swung on and a high bouncer for Parrish at third. The throw to first, and Boone is out on 1 pitch. 5-3, and we'll see Steve Carlton come to the plate here with 2 out in the 5th inning. Fans overseas listening in. I guess over there it is what, about 25 after 11? There's a fly ball right field. That ball charging, catching it off his shoots-off, and holding on for the out is Jerry White. A great defensive play by White on a sinking line drive to left field. Steve Carlton trying to get a base hit on his own, and he hit a sinking line drive that White picked up off his shoots-off. Nothing across for the Phillies in the 5th inning. We'll go to the 6th inning now. The Expos leading 2-0. Andre Dawson about to step in to face Steve Carlton here in the 6th inning. The Expos leading 2-0, out hitting the Phillies 5-4. A well-played ball game so far. And to take over with the play-by-play, here's Duke Snyder.
Thank you, Ron. What a ball game. Steve Rogers should be moved up in the lineup a little bit, it appears, with 2 hits. Dawson swings and misses. Strike 1. Andre has struck out twice. So Carlton was feeling for the plate in the 5th inning. Walked a couple of batters. They came back to haunt him. Dawson takes inside, ball 1.
It seems like those base on balls always have a way of doing that.
Yeah. Manager's nightmare. Those base on balls. Dawson fouls one over the top of our heads into the upper deck. We're down the first base line, almost even with first base, about 15, 20 feet shy of it. Completely different view of this ball game. Carlton comes back, a curve in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 6th inning, Expos ahead 2-0. The Dodgers and the Astros still battling. No score in that game yet. No score. Top of the 5th. Line drive, base hit to center field. Andre Dawson with a base hit. We're going to see some action in that Philadelphia bullpen before long. Gary Carter comes to the plate.
Well, of course, both teams, Duke, with no tomorrows if they should lose, so...
Right, Gullickson was labeled for a long man in the bullpen for the Expos.
That's right, and I think even Dick Ruffin, who is a starter, he could be seen in the bullpen for the Phillies.
Right, he warmed up yesterday. Gary Carter steps in, 1 for 2. Carlton kicks and fires. A high fly ball to right field down the line after Vukovic. He's got it in foul territory. Dawson coming back to first base. A great catch by Vukovic in foul territory. A ball slicing down the line. Now Vukovic had to be out of position to make that catch against Gary Carter. Well, he made a good play. Of course, he's playing Gary Carter over 2 full, and he had to come a long way to make that catch in foul territory, and he ran into that little fence that's down on the right field foul corner. Most right fielders don't play Carter quite as much straight away in right. They shade over towards right center. Parrish the batter. Dawson at first, a threat to steal. Parrish takes low for ball 1. Parrish got it started in the 5th with a single, and he scored one of the 2 runs for the Expos. Carlton checking the runner. He throws over there. Dawson dives back in just in time. Larry now 2 for 18, batting 111, and a big hit to start off the 5th inning. That's what it takes now. The batting average means nothing. What have you done for me now and lately? Another throw to first base, not in time. 6th inning, 2-0 Expos. Carlton ready. A line shot to right center, and that's going to be extra bases. Dawson rounds second. He's almost to third. The throw coming in, Dawson will score, and Parrish has a double. He's going to go to third on the throw, and he's out at third base. Parrish upset with the third base umpire, Frank Pulley's all over him, and Parrish kicking his helmet, and all the Expos, Jim Standing out there, all the coaches out there to pull him away as Parrish thought he was safe. Well, Duke, of course, you get in games like this, and things like that happen, close plays, and you can't control yourself. And from our angle, which you said, we have a different angle here. I know we're further away than the umpires. I thought Larry's foot was under the tag and in there first, but a good play by him, a good hustling play to try and go to third base, and a super hit to drive in the run with the double. Well, I thought Rose would cut it off and then go to third base, and Parrish would have been a dead duck. But the way it worked out, the throw going to the plate, now Boone had to take the ball, and he threw a strike to third base. It was a bang-bang play. Parrish is out. We see it now on a replay, and it's too close to call for us. Pulley right on top of it, so you have to take Pulley's word for it. He's the umpire. Parrish credited with a double and an RBI, and he was out. What are the numbers on that put out? I know the Boone to third base, but was there a cutoff man? I think Trio got the cutoff. Manny Trio threw it. Right. And the outfielder, I believe it was Lonnie Smith. Right. 8-4 to 5. 2-5. 8-4-2-5. For the put out. Tim Wallach, the batter. While we've been talking, the count's 3-0 to Tim. Got a lot of book work to do here, fans. We'll try and keep you abreast of what's happening at the plate. At 3-0 to Wallach, he swings and misses, strike 1.
Plus, it's tougher to do when it's Ghost Riding.
Oh, boy. The Expos now ahead 3-0. Trying to do something they've never done before, win a division title. And they're inching closer and closer to it. The 3-1 pitch, Wallach swings and misses on a high fastball.
Duke, the inning before, Pete Rose caught off the one relay throw to try and get Jerry Manuel in, was late with the throw. That time, I think he was thinking about that and didn't cut the ball off.
Right. Pete not having the strongest throwing arm, and he opted to possibly get Dawson, but knowing Dawson, he's going to score most of the time on something like that, and he did. Ball 4, Wallach at first base. The lefty having some problems here. Gives up his third walk. Expos now with 7 hits. And Chris Fire will be the batter. Chris 0 for 2. Fire now 6 for 13, batting .462. Wallach with a safe lead at first base. Pitch to Spire, strike 1.
Duke, I know you're pleased when you see Larry Parrish hit those shots to right center field.
Oh, I love it. That's the way Parrish is going to have to hit someday for him to be a consistent hitter. That was good hitting. Carter did it the other day. He sliced one by Lonnie Smith. When they start doing that, and when Dawson starts doing that consistently, why, there's no telling what those three can do. They can be devastating. That keeps the pitcher honest, too. He can't pitch you just one way. Carlton checking Tim Wallach. Spire pulls one foul down the third base line. The count 0-2 with 2 outs. You know, you have to give the Montreal bench a lot of credit by coming in there and pulling Larry Parrish off Frank Foley, because you certainly don't want to have Larry Parrish thrown out of a game. Right. Virgil pulled him off first, and then Boros was out there, Fanning was out there, Cromartie was out there. A pop-up down the right field line. Vukovic after it, and he's in foul territory and makes the play. But not before the Expos come up with a run on 2 hits. They leave a runner stranded. And after 5 1/2, Expos 3, Phillies nothing. At Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, Steve Rogers taking his warm-up pitches. Lonnie Smith, Pete Rose, and George Vukovic for the Phillies. The Expos trying to do something they have never done before. They have a 3-0 lead. Lonnie Smith 0 for 2. He's fouled out to first base and flied out to left field. Smith steps in, and the fans behind their ball club now trying to get something going. They're standing on their feet, applauding the Phillies. Steve Rogers takes his windup. Pitch to Lonnie Smith, a curve blowing outside, ball 1. Rogers has not walked anyone in the ball game. He has given up 4 hits. Lonnie Smith fouls one back. A good cut to count 1-1. Larry Parrish, of course, playing at third base, and Frank Foley, the third base umpire. I hope Larry doesn't say anything to him. Foley did the right thing. He walked away from him. He didn't want to get involved in anything. Turned his back and walked down the left field line. And they had Parrish restrained by then. A bunt down the third base line, and a good one. It's going to be a base hit. They'll let it roll, but it's not going to roll foul. Lonnie Smith drops a perfect bunt down the third base line. That's the 5th hit for the Phillies, and Pete Rose comes to the plate. Well, that's the only play Larry Parrish had, is to try and let that ball go foul. If he feels it, he doesn't have a chance of throwing out Lonnie Smith. So here at third base, that's a good play. It might hit something, and it just might roll foul. On grass, there's a better chance. On AstroTurf, why the ball keeps a pretty even line unless they crown the field a little bit. Pete Rose, the batter. Pete 1 for 2. Rogers pitching from the stretch. Rose tries to bunt. Takes the pitch outside. Pulls the bat back. Rose batting .316 in this series. 6 hits, a couple of RBIs. So the Phillies trying something different against Rogers in this inning. Smith bunts, and Rose had something in mind then. Harry, about a step or 2 from the bag and about 15 feet inside the third base line. Rose takes inside, ball 2. These fans are alive here. Steve Rogers in his 6th inning of work. No one throwing in the bullpen. Rogers in the stretch. Rose takes ball 3. Well, of course, with all the fans cheering here in Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, that's one of the things you have to contend with when you're a visiting team in a city such as this, where the fans are so exuberant. Now, they are that. And right now, Pete Rose up there with the count 3-0 will be shaking. Rogers with the 3-0. Fastball for a strike. 3-1 the count. Rogers has not walked anyone in the ball game, but he's fallen behind Rose. George Vukovic on deck. 3-0 Expos, bottom of the 6th. Keith comes back with a fastball, 2-0, ball 4.
umpire came out to the mound to have a little talk with Steve, just try and calm him down a bit. Well, the Expo infield will be back with Vukovic up there. Double play depth, Fire and Manuel. Cromartie not holding Rose, of course, with runner at second base, so he's way back. Rogers' first pitch to Vukovic. Curveball down and in, ball one. Vukovic 0 for 2. He's now 4 for 7 in the series, batting .571. One ball and no strike. Rogers has his side. Looks towards second. The pitch. Fouled off to the left. Vukovic behind that one. And there finally is someone warming up in the bullpen, Duke. It's Elias Sosa. Sosa in the bullpen. Vukovic back in there. Slightly closed stance. Rogers has got him on a couple of curveballs. The 1-1 pitch. Check swing. Did he go around? The appeal to Pulley? No. Ball 2. 2-1 to count. You can't have much more action than this. This has been quite a series. Both ball clubs playing excellent baseball. All the games very competitive. Rogers ready again. The 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to Rogers. He goes to Spire for one. On to first. Offline safe. Vukovic safe at first base as Cromartie was off the bag. Joe didn't like the call, but he was off the bag. Spire throwing as Rose went after him, and he threw up the first baseline towards home plate. Crow got the ball, and they got a big out at second base, but should have had two. Mike Smith, the batter, going to third base. Lonnie Smith at first base, George Vukovic. Well, of course, the key to that play was the hard slide by Pete Rose. He came in very hard on Chris Spire, and it just knocked Chris a little bit off balance, and he was unable to make a good, accurate throw to Warren Cromartie at first base. Well, Chris got enough on the throw, but it was offline, as Tommy said, and one of those things. Now Mike Schmidt 1 for 2. Double play possibilities. As there's a runner at first base, George Vukovic. One away. Rogers has his sign. Mike Schmidt digs in. The pitch. Just outside, ball one. Schmidt batting .286 in the series. 4 hits, a home run, 2 RBIs. Hits the ball hard enough if it's at somebody you can get to. Rogers ready. A ground ball towards Manuel. Could be two. Spire's got it on the first double play for the Expos.
Ah, big play.
Manuel threw the ball to Spire in plenty of time, and Spire fired a strike to Cromartie. In the inning, no runs, a hit, a runner left. And after 6 full innings of play, Expos 3, Phillies nothing.
Manuel fires fouls the first pitch back, and it's strike one. I'm Ron Roosh along with Tommy Hutton, and what a ball game it's been. It has not been uneventful. Certainly that last inning put a few hearts in the mouths of the fans in Canada. The strike, the pitch is missed outside on a curveball from Carl. Now it's 1-1. 3-0 Expos. The pitch swung on, fly ball, right field. Coming over near the line is Vukovic. He's under it, makes the catch. 1 out, and Steve Rogers. I'll tell you something. If Steve Rogers were coming to the plate in Olympic Stadium right now, you wouldn't be able to hear anything for the next 5 minutes or so.
He read my mind.
Standing ovation.
He read my mind. I was thinking the same thing.
Now, what more can you do? He has driven in 2 of the 3 Expos run. He's 2 for 2 at the plate.
I can just see the section where all the Montreal Expos wives are sitting, and they certainly gave him a standing ovation.
Here's the pitch to Steve, and a fastball missed for a ball, 1-0.
And I'm sure leading the crowd is wife Barbara.
Well, you can tell the Expos came into this game fired up. Swings and misses, strike one, 1-1 the count. Carlton came on and struck out the side to start the ball game. That can be a bit of a downer, but the Expos just kept grinding away at him, and we're worked up a 3-0 lead now. The pitch is taken outside, 2-1 the count. Ron Reed warming up for the Phillies. We saw Tug McGraw go down to the bullpen as well. The pitch swung on, fouled back, and the count evens at 2-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on, a high chopper to the third baseman. Schmidt going to his left. The throw to first in time to retire Rogers, and we have 2 out here in the 7th. The Expos, if you just joined us, got 2 in the 5th. A leadoff single by Parrish, a walk to Tim Wallach. Chris Spire hit into a fielder's choice, and that put runners on first and third. Jerry Manuel walked, and Steve Rogers then came on and hit a single. And drove in 2 runs. Then in the 6th inning, Andre Dawson led off with a single after Carter fouled out to right field. Parrish with a double to score Dawson, and that's it. It's a 3-0 ball game. Here's the pitch to Crow, and a called strike on the inside corner. Crow is 0 for 3 in the game. Big hitter in this game is Larry Parrish, the pitch, and it's taken low. And of course Rogers, who's 2 for 3. Parrish 2 for 3. We're mentioning they only look back to what he's done lately. The pitch swung on and missed. Strike 2, 1-2, and Larry now is 3 for his last 7 at bat.
Yes, he is, and he can get hot, and what a time for that to happen.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and the pitch is outside, and it's 2-2. Larry very close to being ejected from the game. He really went after third base umpire Frank Pulley after the out call. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That is the first strikeout for Carlton since the 4th inning, his 7th of the ball game. In the inning, nothing across for the Expos. We've completed 6.5 innings, and it's the 7th inning stretch here at the Vet in Philadelphia. The Expos lead the Phillies 3-0. Well, Gary Matthews will step in for the Phillies. Mike Schmidt with an inning-ending double play ball with runners on first and third, and 1 out. The Phillies' #1 threat of the ball game. Matthews here in the 7th, followed by Manny Trio and Larry Boa. Matthews in the game is 1 for 2. Hit a single, was thrown out at the plate by Jerry Manuel on a relay from Andre Dawson in center field. The pitch, and a fastball for a strike to Matthews. Turned around and looked at home plate umpire John Kibler. Set the defense for the Expos in a moment for you. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, fly ball, right field. Coming in is Wallach, the right fielder. Drifting under it, makes the catch. 1 away. For the Expos, the infield has Carter behind the plate. Cromartie, the first baseman. Jerry Manuel at second. Chris Spire, the shortstop. And Larry Parrish at third base. The outfield, Jerry White in left. Andre Dawson at center field. Tim Wallach in right field. Rogers on the mound, doing a masterful job so far. Now he's looking at Manny Trio, 1 for 2 in the game. The pitch, the fastball, and he missed low with it, and it's 1-0. Amazing what a bunt single to lead off an inning with the infield playing back can do for a team. It can get it going. It sets up so many things.
Yes, it does. There's so many things that can ignite a rally.
The pitch swung on and missed. Fastball.
And also so many things that can get the momentum going. We talked about the 3 strikeouts in the inning by Carlton in the first inning. Great plays can do it. A big hit can do it. The bunt can do it. There's many things in a ball game that can get momentum going for a particular team.
Well, we're in short relief territory right now, and down in the Expos bullpen and warming up as Steve bounces one at the plate, and it's 2-1 to Trio. We've got the left-hander Woody Fryman and the right-hander Jeff Reardon.
Also saw Terry Francona jog down there. He's getting his arm loose. Maybe we could see him go in for defense in the outfield.
the 7th. Expos leading 3-0. Count of 2-1 on Trio. Here's Rogers with the pitch. A ground ball under the glove. Parries it out into left field and a base hit. Trio with his second hit of the ball game. It's coming with 1 out here in the 7th, and Larry Boa will bat. Boa 0 for 2. Wide out to center field and line back to pitcher Steve Rogers in the 5th inning. Boa 3 for 16 in the series.
Flashed that L.A. Houston score up there, and after we're in the bottom of the 6th, it's still 0-0.
Well, it's one thing the Expos are not concerning themselves with in this ball game is who they might possibly meet if they win this game. The pitcher's a called strike.
That's right. No scoreboard watching like there was the last week of the season.
That's right. Only one thing on their mind: win this ball game. Trio leading off. Rogers checking him. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back. And the count is 0-2 on Larry Boa with 1 out.
Boa, of course, a tough player to double up because of his speed and hitting from the left side. So in this situation with the ground ball, your main concern is to get the lead runner, get the sure out.
On deck is Bob Boone. Rogers set. The 0-2 pitch, and it got away from Carter. It was outside, but Carter pounced on it immediately, and Trio held.
And Ron Reed continues to warm up for the Philadelphia Phillies down in their bullpen.
Well, Reed down the stretch has been the number 1 man out of the bullpen for the Phillies. McGraw, of course, the hero last year, but Tug with that inflamed elbow has not seen a lot of action in the last month, although he pitched very well yesterday. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. He just got a piece of the fastball. Still 1-2. Boa, tough out in any case. You mentioned he's tough to double up, but he hits the ball all over the place. You can't defend him very well. They play him pretty well straight away. Toss and shaded slightly to right. Boa batting right-handed, or at least left-handed against Rogers. Here's the pitch, and he loops that foul to the left.
Larry Boa, the type of player who's really worked hard on his hitting. When he first came into the league, he was almost an automatic out from the left side. The infield and the outfield used to shade him way over to left field, but now they play him almost straight away because he still has enough pop on the bat to pull the ball.
Well, he's had a couple of really good years, and of course a tremendous defensive player. When he gets the hitting to go with it, they consider him one of the, if not the best shortstops in the league. The 1-2 pitch, swung on, and a chopper coming to the bag is Fire. He comes down out at second. Fire has the bag at second. He had to reach up for it, and he came down just ahead of the slide of Manny Trio to get the lead runner. A high chopper over the mound. Good play by Chris Fire.
Oh, super play. Looked like Rudolph Nureyev on that when he jumped up, caught the ball in the air, and just came down in time to tag the base in front of the sliding Manny Trio. What a play.
So the out is made at second. Making the call there was Terry Tata. 2 away, a runner on first, and the batter is Bob Boone. Fielder's choice for Boa, 6 unassisted at second base. Boone, a right-handed batter. Here's the pitch. Fastball is low. Ball 1.
With a pinch hitter on deck, Del Unser.
So if we get to the pinch hitter, we'll be seeing Carlton come out of the ball game. Well, the Expos got ahead 2-0 early in the ball game to start this series. And here's a high pop-up. Flipping was Fire, but now he's up and he calls for it. And makes the one-handed catch. In the inning, no runs. There was a hit. No errors, 1 left on base. We've completed 7 at Veterans Stadium. Steve Rogers walking slowly off the mound with a 3-0 lead. Well, Steve Carlton's still in the ball game. The Expos will send the 2, 3, and 4 batters to the plate. Try and get to see for a run or 2 more if they can. A little cushion wouldn't hurt. 3-0. The Expos leading. The first pitch to Jerry is ball 1 in the dirt. Ron Reed will continue to warm up in the bullpen. The pitch is off the glove of Boone. Strike one. 1-1 the count. Certainly this is Carlton's last inning of pitching. The pitch swung on and fly ball left field. In his tracks is Matthews. Now drifts over towards the line and left and makes the catch, and we've got one away. Andre Dawson, who is 1 for 3, has struck out twice in the game, but continues to hit at over a 300 pace in the series. The Hawks scored a run in the 6th inning. It may prove to be a very, very big run. The pitch swung on and fouled back. 0-1 the count to Hawks.
And a good cut by Andre Dawson on a fastball. He swung real hard, just fouled it straight back. A good swing.
Carlton spot in the lineup due to come up to lead off the next inning for the Phillies. Pitch is taken low, ball 1. So it'll be Carlton and then the top of the order. So we're likely to see Del Unser come in to face Rogers. Here's the pitch to Dawson, a fastball, and he missed outside with it, and it's 2-1.
There we could see Unser, McBride, or Gross. I think maybe leading the inning off, we might see McBride or Gross.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and popped foul, but out of play down in front of us here. Count even to 2-2.
But in the meantime, it'd be nice to see a few more runs across the plate.
Well, it sure would. It is even a 3-0 lead is not. Here's a line drive right at Boa, and he snares it for out number 2. Boa went about a step to his right and nailed that one.
That ball was hit so hard it almost drilled Larry Boa into left field, shallow left field.
Carter in the game is 1 for 3. Got the first Expos hit to lead off the 2nd inning, and then found himself picked off. Actually, the official ruling on caught stealing. And the Expos then went 1-2-3. Here's the pitch to Gary, and it's outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count. I guess the good signs in this ball game, Larry Parrish, who is 2 for 3 in the game with a run scored and an RBI. The pitch. And it's taken high. 2-0 to Carter. Rogers, that's, I guess, the best sign of all. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on and blooped out into right field. Charging is the right fielder, Vukovic. That ball is going to drop into the glove of Trio coming out from second base. Vukovic couldn't have reached it. Trio just got to it, took it over the shoulder. In the inning, nothing across for the Expos. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning now. The Expos 3, the Phillies nothing.
At Veterans Stadium, Tommy Hutton along with Ron Roos, and the Expos make a couple of changes. Terry Francona moves into left field. Jerry White moves from left field over to right field. Timmy Wallach leaves the game. Steve Rogers still on the mound, and the pinch hitter for the Philadelphia Phillies to lead the inning off will be Greg Gross. And Greg Gross pinch hit off Steve Rogers in the first game of the series and flied out to right field.
Gross, the left-handed hitter, will bat, and then we'll go to the top of the order, and Lonnie Smith. Boy, it'd be nice to get a 1-2-3 inning here, because then you'd find in the bottom of the 9th that Schmidt would be coming to the plate second. The pitch is taken high and away, ball 1. And with no chance to tie the game up. That would be in the bottom of the 9th, but let's get this one out of the way first. There's a breaking ball for a strike on Expos, leading 3-0. Ron Reed will be coming into the ball game. He continues to warm up. Give you the line on Carlton in a moment. Here's the pitch, and the fastball taken high and away, ball 2. 2-2 the count. Carlton pitched a total of 8 innings. He gave up 7 hits to the Expos. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fly ball, right field. Going after in left field, rather in foul territory. Francona reaches up for it. He's got it. Tough out there. Francona, the defensive replacement for White, coming against the fence in left field. and he makes the catch.
It seems like so many times when a defensive replacement is made, the first ball is hit right to him, and Terry came over to the line and had to stretch his hands over into the stands and made a good play.
Smith, the pitch, and the fastball is low, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Reardon and Fryman continuing to work in the Expos bullpen. The line on Carlton, 8 innings pitched, 7 hits, struck out 7, walked 2, gave up the 3 earned runs. Here's a fly ball center field. Dawson has got a beat on it, drifts back near the warning track and makes the catch. 2 away in the 8th. And Pete Rose will bat. The Expos 4 outs away, but always the toughest 4 outs of a ball game.
Yes, they are, and you got some big hitters coming up after Pete Rose also.
Steve wiping his brow on the mound as Rose stepped in, batting left-handed in the game. 1 for 2 with a walk. The pitch to him, and the curveball is outside. 1-0.
Steve Rogers would rather see Mike Schmidt up next inning, though, rather than this inning.
That's right. Here's the pitch, and the fastball for a strike off the glove of Carter. Picks it up, throws it back to Rogers. Steve taking his time. Nods at Carter. Yes, I'll throw that pitch. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and a pop foul to the left and out of play. And Steve is ahead, 1-2. Rose batting .316 in the series. And here's the pitch. Fastball, and Rose took it inside. Ball 2, and the count is even at 2-2. The beauty they always say about baseball. There's no clock. Maybe the Expos would love to have a clock right now, but pitch is taken high, and we've got a full count on Pete Rose right now, but you have to get that 27th out.
That's right, and it doesn't matter how long it takes.
And Steve has got 23 of them right now. Looking for number 24. Rogers in the line, the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, ground ball to the second baseman, through the legs of Samuel and out into right field. We'll wait to see how they score that one. An error. It'll go as an error to the second baseman, Jerry Manuel. It appeared to be a routine grounder, and it just took a skip on him through his leg.
Well, it did that. It took a funny hop because Jerry Manuel did everything you're supposed to do on a ground ball like that. He even got down on one knee, but he didn't keep his glove down, and the ball skipped right underneath it.
And George Vukovich, the hero of the game yesterday, comes up. The pitch, swung on and fouled back. Count 0-1. At a fastball from Steve. Attendance 47,384 for the ball game. In a stadium that holds about 60. Vukovich with that slightly closed stance. Rogers set on the mound, leading his Rose. The pitch, and he takes it inside. 1-1 the count. The fastball from Rogers.
Pretty good pitch. Steve would have liked to have that call for a strike. He looked in at umpire John Kibler and didn't question him, though, because you don't want to get the umpire upset at this point of the game.
Well, this is the out Steve wants. He does not want Schmidt to come up. I'd like to have Schmidt lead off the ninth. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back, and it's 1-2 on Vukovich.
Well, I think old George is going to see some breaking balls now.
Well, Vukovich, a fastball hitter, and that's what he got from Jeff Reardon, but I'll tell you something. Jeff could throw that pitch he threw Vukovich 100 times, and he'd get an out on it. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, strike 3 called, and out of there is George Vukovich. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors. There was the one error, rather, and one left on base. And we'll go to the 9th inning with the Expos leading the Phillies 3-0. Well, here are the changes for the Phillies in the 9th inning. Greg Gross will go into right field. He was a pinch hitter for Steve Carlson. And coming out of the game will be George Vukovich, and Ron Reed will go into his spot in the order. So Reed batting third, and of course Vukovich last out in the last half inning. And the Expos will be sending Larry Parrish, Terry Francona, and Chris Spire to the plate here in the 9th inning. 3-0 lead. The Expos 3 outs away. Reed, the tall right-hander. And the pitch to Parrish. Swung on and a ground ball up the middle. Over for it is Boa. He's up with it. The throw to first, and Parrish is out of there. 6-3 on the play. Hutton has gone downstairs. Should the Expos win, you'll hear some celebrating. Tommy, who did such a great job when the Expos clinched their playoff berth, will be in the clubhouse. But there's still the matter of the Phillies in the 9th. The pitch to Francona and a called strike on a fastball from Reed. Reed, 38 years of age. The pitch to Francona, and he had Terry out on his front foot swinging, and he missed it. 0-2 the count. Reed has saved a lot of games in the last 5 seasons out of the bullpen after making the transition from the starting role that he had when he started in the majors with the Atlanta Braves. Pitched in Atlanta for 6 seasons, and then went to the Cardinals briefly. The pitch stand is in the dirt. That's 2-2 to Reed, or at least to Francona. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. It's an 18-game winner with Atlanta back in 1969 when they won the West Division. Finished the year 18-10 with a 3.47 ERA that year. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, and a chopper up over the head of Reed. Reaching for it and booting it is Boa, and on board, I believe, with a hit will be Terry Francona. Really a high chopper over the rather extensive frame of Reed, and really nobody in front of the bag at second could make a play, although Boa reached for it and bobbled it. And it'll be a base hit. The batter will be Chris Spire. Spire, who's been wielding a hot bat, reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th inning and scored the Expos' 2nd run. Reed in the stretch. Here's the pitch, and the fastball for a strike. Came into this game with 6 hits and 11 appearances. 0 for 3 in this game. The pitch, and they had the pitch out. Francona wasn't going anywhere. So he is now 6 for 14. Did a couple of doubles, driven in 3 runs, and today he scored a run. But the big RBIs belong to Steve Rogers. The pitch, fastball taken low. 2-1 the count. Here in Philadelphia, of course, will this be Dallas Green's last game as not only a manager with this organization, but even a member of the organization. Toss over to first, and Francona's back. It's almost foregone that Green will be going to the Chicago Cubs, become a vice president and general manager of that team as Chicago Tribune is looking down with the ball in his hand as the throw came over, and Francona wasn't going to move until he threw the ball back to the pitcher. And Terry cautiously inching out from the bag. 1 out here in the 9th. Reed, his hands on his knees, looking around. Checking Francona, getting the sign from Boone, the catcher. There goes Francona, the pitch, and a high fly ball, center field. Smith is going back for it. He's under it and makes the catch. Francona halfway will have to go back to first base. 2 out in the 9th inning. And Jerry Manuel. Sparky Lyle warming up in the bullpen, along with Mike Crowley. Quiet in the Expos bullpen at the moment, but Reardon, and there goes the runner again, and here's a high pop foul, but it's out of play. Just down to our right. Los Angeles leading Houston 3-0 in the 7th inning. Somebody may be making a cross-continent trip tonight. Check swing, and it's high. 1-2 the count. Or did he call that a strike? He called it a strike. It's 0-2. Leading Francona. The throw to first. Francona diving back once again. 2 out in the 9th inning. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th. It'll be Schmidt, Matthews, trio against Steve Rogers. Reed set. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3 on a fastball. So in the inning, the Phillies get the Expos. The Expos with no runs on a hit, no errors. They left 1 on base, and we'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Expos leading the Phillies in this deciding game for the National League East title by a score of 3-0. Well, it's come down to this. The bottom of the 9th inning. The Expos' 1981 season. Will they go on to perhaps be playing the Los Angeles Dodgers for the National League Championship? 3 outs away, and the 3 perhaps. Mike Schmidt the leadoff, Gary Matthews, and then Manny Trio. Schmidt in the ball game is 1 for 3. He has singled, flied out to right field, and hit into a double play, a very important double play in the 6th inning. 47,000 fans here at the Vet in Philadelphia. Standing on their feet. They want the Phillies to do something, and it's something they have not been able to do so far against Steve Rogers in this ball game. Steve has pitched a masterpiece through 8 innings. Here's the pitch, and a breaking ball missed outside, ball 1. And I think that's what you're going to see Steve feed Schmidt all the way through this at-bat. If you were going to plan it, if you had your druthers and you had a lead, especially more than a 1-run lead, you'd want Schmidt leading off the final inning of the ball game. The pitch is a strike at the knees, 1-1. You look at his season statistics, 31 homers, 91 RBIs, and he missed a third of the year with a strike. He had a .316 batting average. The 1-1 pitch, swung on, fly ball, center field, hard hit, but going back is Dawson, makes the catch. 1 away in the 9th inning. And the batter will be Gary Matthews. Matthews in the game is 1 for 3. Thrown out at the plate, another big play in the game in the 4th inning. At that point, there was no score in the game, and how the complexion of the ball game might have changed had he been safe. Here's a line drive, left field, going over for it is Francona. He's got it, 2 away. Francona going to his left. A hard hit ball towards the power alley in left center. Francona over for it very quickly, as he was playing that one very well, and we've got 2 out, and we're 1 out away. And Manny Trio, who's 2 for 3 in the game. 2 out. out in the bottom of the ninth inning. The Expos with a 3-run lead. Rogers deals, and the pitch is a called strike on Trio. Tommy Hutton is downstairs. He'll be part of the celebrations if the Expos win it. The pitch is taken high and away. Ball one. 1-1 the count. The Expos out hitting the Phillies 8-6. 2 RBIs for Steve Rogers. The pitch. Swung on and looped high in the air is Cromartie. He's got it. The ball game is over. The Expos dugout clears. The Expos have won the National League East Division. A line drive to Warren Cromartie. He leaped in the air and nailed it. And the Expos have defeated the Philadelphia Phillies. They had a 2-0 lead. They beat Steve Carlson in the opening game of the series, and they have come back in the final game of the series to beat one of the best left-handers in the game. Steve Rogers being mobbed down on the field. Expos fans in the stands are leaping for joy, and I'm sure across the country the fans as well in a tremendous frame of mind as the Expos have won the right to play for the National League pennant against either the Los Angeles Dodgers or the Houston Astros. In the ninth inning, nothing across for the Phillies. Steve Rogers put the capper on it with a complete game shutout. A clutch performance for Steve Rogers. He gave the Expos everything they could possibly want down the stretch, and in 2 games against Philadelphia, allowed just 1 run. Just win the game, 3-0. They win the National League East Championship, and we'll return with a wrap-up in a moment. Here's the line on the game, and what a moment for Montreal fans who have suffered through the doldrums of expansion to come this far, and they have reached the National League Championship Series, the League Championship Series against the Dodgers or Houston. The Expos will wait around now to find out who they will be playing and where they will fly after this ball game. The line on the game, the clincher, as the Expos win the series 3-2. For the Expos, 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. They left 5 on base. For Philadelphia, no runs, 6 hits, no errors. They left 6. Steve Rogers in postseason play is 2-0, the winning pitcher. Steve Carlton, the loser, he was 0-2 in the postseason. The game played in 2 hours and 18 minutes before a paid attendance of 47,384 here at Veterans Stadium. The game-winning RBI. It was that kind of a day for Steve Rogers. He drove in 2 runs with a single in the 5th inning and put the Expos ahead 2-0 and picks up the game-winning RBI. Our congratulations to the Expos, the National League East Division champions of 1981. Once again, the final score, the Expos 3, the Phillies nothing. Now stay tuned. Tommy Hutton's in the clubhouse for the post-game show. Next. Well, the winning pitcher in the ball game. It's time now for the post-game show, and the winning pitcher in the ball game was Steve Rogers. The line on Steve, he pitched the 9 innings, gave up just 6 hits, struck out 2, and walked just 1. A very key figure, of course, for the Expos throughout the year because the pitching staff has not walked very many batters and led the major leagues in the fewest batters walked by a pitching staff. The Expos win the ball game by a score of 3-0, and I don't think I've got much more to say up here, but certainly a lot to be said down in the clubhouse. And down below is Tommy Hutton. Tommy?
Okay, Ron, how's everything? You hear me up there?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, I have the first guy I have here, and it's a great scene, as you can imagine. I got Woody Fryman. Woody's been around a long time. Woody, what about this club?
Tommy, it's hard to believe. I tell you, it's an excellent ball club, and they finally made it down. I just hope everybody in Canada is really proud of it, and everybody in the States, because they said we couldn't win, so well, now we've won, so I want to see how far we can go.
And to beat Steve Carlson 2 games, that's got to be a plus.
Well, it sure is, but you got to give credit to Steve Rogers, because he pitched 2 excellent ball games against him, and the guys played good ball, and we won.
All right, Woody Fryman, thanks a lot. Go and join the celebration. I got a couple other guys getting here pretty close. Let
Tommy C. You know, I saw a great scene earlier, just as the fellas started to come into the clubhouse. Lonnie Smith of the Philadelphia Phillies came over and walked around to everyone that was in here and gave them a congratulatory handshake. I thought that was a very class move from Lonnie Smith. Chris Fire is standing here. Chris, the hot hitter on the club for the series, made some outstanding plays. Spy, just tell me how you feel.
Well, I'm elated. I'm not as elated as the first time, but it's a long-range goal, and this is just phase 2 that we've gotten underneath our belt, and we're on to phase 3 going to L.A. or Houston. I'm not sure which, but whatever it is, it's another step to the goal. I've dreamed about ever since I've signed a professional contract, and that's to get a World Series ring on my finger.
At this stage, winning it today and just a couple of seconds ago, have you given it any thought as to Houston or L.A.?
Well, I'd love to go to Houston because I need a new pair of cowboy boots. But no, again, we don't know it. I guess the score was 3-zip L.A. Hopefully Houston can come back. Again, it doesn't really matter. I just know that if we go to L.A., they're going to get a ton of phone calls from my wife's relatives, and I don't think I can get enough tickets for them.
But at this point, it doesn't matter. Thanks a lot. Chris Fire's been talking with us. I see Jerry Manuel, who made some great plays. I see a few other guys. Right now, Ron, everybody's kind of dispersed. If you come back in a few more minutes, I think I'll have some more guys closer to me.
All right, Tommy. Well, we'll take it up here for a couple of moments, and let's go over the ball game once again. The Expos winning this one by a score of 3-0. It was a scoreless ball game into the 5th inning. The key play at that point had come with 2 out in the 4th inning. At that point, Gary Matthews had singled, and then Manny Trio had hit one to center field. And Matthews came all the way, trying to force the Expos into an error. But Andre Dawson got a good throw away at center field. It came into Jerry Manuel, who threw a perfect relay to Gary Carter at the plate, and they nailed Matthews for the 3rd out of the inning. Then in the top of the 5th, the next half inning of play, Larry Parrish led off with a single. Sometimes a big play will spur a team. Then Jim Wallach drew a walk that put runners on 1st and 2nd. Chris Fire hit into a fielder's choice, putting runners on 1st and 3rd. And Jerry Manuel walked. The bases were loaded when Steve Rogers came up. All of this coming with 1 away. Rogers then lined a single into center field, and 2 runs scored, and the Expos led 2-0. It turned out to be the game winner. In the 6th inning, Andre Dawson led off with a single with 1 out after Carter had fouled out to the right fielder Vukovic. Larry Parrish hit a double off the right center field wall. Larry was out at 3rd, but he drove home Dawson, and that was all it took. 3-0 to score at that point, and it stayed that way the rest of the way. Any other bigger plays? Well, in the bottom of the 6th inning, a double play by Mike Schmidt to end that inning. And then, of course, that final out of the ball game, a leaping catch by Warren Cromartie with 2 out in the 9th, and the Expos had won the ball game. Final score was 3-0. They got 8 hits. The Philadelphia Phillies got 6 hits. They win it 3-2. With tremendous excitement, we see fans out on the field, and a couple of youngsters carrying the Canadian flag as they're out on the field now, being escorted down towards the Expos dugout in the passageway. Tommy, are you down there, and can you hear me, and how are you doing?
Right, I'm down here. I got Terry Francona stopped by to say hello, and I know he's happy.
I'm very excited, Tommy. It's hard to explain. It's just an unbelievable feeling. I thought maybe, at the end of the year I'd end up in the playoffs somewhere, but I thought maybe it'd be Memphis.
So you started the season, of course, in Memphis. You go to AAA. You play in Denver. Here you are on a championship team, an Eastern Division championship team, the Montreal Expos.
It's just, it's a very proud feeling to be with these guys. We lost 2, we were down, and we showed what we had down deep inside.
Especially, like we said all along, beating a guy like Steve Carlton.
The best guy in the league. We beat him twice. We went against their best, and we beat him. And I think it shows, that we have something down deep inside, and we reached for it today.
I think it's something that the people can expect to look for in the games against the Western Division, whether it be Houston or L.A. Do you have a preference?
No. I'm just glad we're getting to go on. I don't care at all. I guess Houston because it's shorter plane trip tonight, but other than that, there's no reason.
How about your dad? I know he never got a chance to play in postseason action. I talked to him the other night about that. And I'm sure he's got to be excited for you. Will he be showing up at any of these games?
He's going to be back in Montreal. He already made his reservations. This is our family's first playoff, so he's every bit as excited as I am.
All right, well, along with everybody else. Now, would you give me a beer?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. I'm going to try and get somebody else here, Ron. Everybody's kind of moving around. It's hard to find people.
We do have some people. I'm going to see if I can get Donald Sutherland.
All right.
Donald Sutherland standing over here. Hey, Donald, just a minute. I got Donald Sutherland, and he's all grins. You're pleased, Donald.
Am I happy? Yeah, I'm so delighted I can't tell you. Just, well, anyway, I've never done this before. I don't want to do it. I'm going away.
Okay, thank you. Donald Sutherland, of course, #1 Expo fan, fantastic actor, and he is happy. You can just tell by the look on his face, as is everybody else down here. I got Jerry Manuel. Jerry, of course, we talked before how a hit, how maybe a pitcher striking out the side, how a play can ignite the team and get the momentum going. We thought upstairs, Jerry, with that relay play, that got the guys going.
Yeah, that was a big play. Andre got the ball in real fast, and I tapped to see him out the corner of my eye, and I just tried to get it to Gary. I knew he didn't have a chance to score, and it was a good throw, luckily on my part, and we're going to L.A., we're going to take it from there.
Again, that is something you practice in spring training, that relay throw, and then people forget about it. They don't think those plays mean things.
Right, it meant a lot, that play, because if they'd scored a run there, it would have been tough for us there. They'd have scored the first run, then we came back and got them.
Jerry having a little trouble talking because he just had champagne poured all over his head by rolling off it. So Jerry has some champagne in his eye. Hey, Si, I got Steve Rogers close, so we might be able to get him, Ron. He's got ice on his elbow. He's got ice on his shoulder. He's got champagne all over. Si, did you forget about the shutout? Do you expect to get 2 hits and 2 RBIs?
Hey, man, you know my bail and whale stroke. It's conducive only to the little ground ball up the middle, but lefty left the slider out over with the bases loaded, and that's, he left it definitely not where he wanted it.
You look like you had great stuff. Compare it with the stuff you had in New York.
Well, I tell you, I don't think my breaking ball was as sharp, my curveball, but I was able to use it at times as a changeup, so I didn't really have to use the forkball. I used my curveball as my changeup. The slider and fastballs were all working.
How about the last inning? You had a couple of balls hit hard, but then again, when you see them hit hard right at guys, you have to be pleased.
Well, no doubt about it. I also said, Schmitty, I know you're sitting on dead red. I'm going to give it to you, and he hit the heck out of it, but he just didn't get it up enough. There's no ballpark in the world that's going to hold him if he gets it up, but I just felt like I couldn't allow momentum to build by giving walks or getting behind people, and I wanted to go just right at him. Gary Matthews hit a rocket to left field, too, because at that point, you just don't want to get something snowballing, and I was lucky to hit it right at him.
The big pitch, the double play ball, again, to Mike Schmidt, was the hitter, 2 men on base. Tell us about that one.
Well, Schmitty was thinking I was probably going to throw a sinker, I'm guessing. He and I have faced each other now for 9 years. We're no mystery to each other. And I really felt like a sinker in, and he'd recognize it and see it really well and might pull it in the hole. So what I felt like is that I'd throw a sinker low middle. And you saw the way he kind of inside out at it, and we had a second baseman there.
Steve, one more question, and I'll let you get back to the celebration. I'm sure there's a lot of people in Montreal listening right now, a lot of people that are happy. Do you have anything to say to those people back there?
I tell you what, people, we gave you a lot to cheer about, you thought, when we came in after winning the second half. Now we're going to go for all the roses, and we're going to be back and give you a lot more to cheer about.
Okay, thanks, Si. Congratulations. Super. All right, while I was talking with Steve, of course, there were about 25 reporters around all of us, and they wanted to get the lowdown on Steve's success today, too. Right now, everybody's kind of dispersed away from me.
Okay, Tommy, I'll take
down
it.
At the other end. Ron, you want to take it away for a while?
I'll take it for a second.
Okay.
Just remind folks about the playoff tickets, because now we can talk about them a little bit. The Expos have won the series, so the League Championship Series games, the tickets will go on sale at Olympic Stadium. The games will be numbers 3, 4, and 5 of the series. And they will go on sale tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. That's tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at the Olympic Stadium ticket office and at all Ticketron outlets during normal business hours. Tickets are priced $18 and $12 for the reserved seats and $5 for general admission. The game times, note this please, the game times will be for game number 3 of the series, 8:20 Friday. Then Saturday at 1:05 and Sunday at 4:15. No phone orders will be accepted for the League Championship Series tickets. They go on sale again tomorrow morning at 9 at the Olympic Stadium ticket office, all Ticketron outlets. And for you folks in the Toronto area, the Ticketron outlet at the downtown Eaton Center will be selling tickets as well for the series. So the tickets on sale as well down there tomorrow morning at 9. Tommy, down below, how do you make it out?
Yeah, Ron.
Okay.
I have a very important person here. the owner of the Montreal Expos, Charles Brofman. Hello. You've seen the team come from so many different ways, all the way from the bottom, and now on the top of the Eastern Division of the National League, winning this game. I know you're really excited about this.
Well, I got to say one thing, Tommy. For most of this weekend, it was a very long weekend. Steve came out and just did a superlative job. Won the game all by himself, and it was just a great delight for, I think, all of Canada to see, and certainly for all of us in Philadelphia to see.
Now, did you ever have your doubts?
I did before the game, yes. I think once we got the 2-0 lead, I was pretty confident the way Steve was pitching, they weren't going to do very much with him.
Now, what is your preference? I know Los Angeles right now, I just heard, is leading the game 4-0. Los Angeles, Houston, you've seen our team play many games against both of those teams. Is there a preference as far as you're concerned?
Absolutely, whoever wins.
It's good to be wherever that may be, in Houston or L.A.
Well, I think that this club now has some tremendous momentum. They've come from a lot of turmoil, a lot of problems. They came from almost being eliminated here and kept true to the tradition of the National League, which apparently Houston is not keeping true to, of being up 2 and then coming back and winning the series. And why it has to be L.A., I know we got a lousy record in L.A., but I think we got a lot of momentum going, and we got a lot of guts and a lot of heart and a lot of guys who want it real bad.
That's very true. Thanks a lot, Mr. Brofman, for stopping by. All right, I see Crow over here. Crow again talking to some writers. A few of the players, Ron, stepped outside of the clubhouse just for a few minutes because all of the Expos' wives are down here, and we're outside of the clubhouse to congratulate their husbands. So a few of the guys have stepped outside, and there's only a couple in here right at this moment. Crow's over here, who really seems to be about the most excited guy in the clubhouse. Not to take anything away from everybody else, but Crow's been jumping around, throwing the champagne, and just having a ball. Right now I see Larry Parrish, but again, he's way over on the other side of the clubhouse. I'm a little limited with the microphone cord here, so I have to kind of remain in one area, but can you take it again for a few minutes?
Tommy, we can. I'd just like to, maybe if you're listening, you can comment on this, too. Steve Rogers' performance in the playoffs, just outstanding. And we could go back even further to that final game he pitched in New York. But in the playoffs, he pitched 17 2/3 innings, gave up 16 hits, struck out 5, and walked 3, one of those intentional. Just one earned run in 17 2/3 innings against a team like the Philadelphia Phillies under tremendous pressure. First of all, of course, you almost had to win that opening game against a team like the Phillies. You wanted to establish that the series was in your control, and that's what Steve did. And then add to that the performance under the gun here today. It was a must-win game for the Expos, the biggest game in the history of the franchise. And Steve again came through, and this time even better than in the first game in that he pitched a 3-0 shutout. So Steve not only good at the bat, but of course just outstanding in what he's paid to do, and that is pitch the ball. Tommy?
Yeah, that's right. I have Bill Gullickson coming over this way also. Cromartie is right here. I don't think he's going to leave. I got a good grip on him. But like you said, the way Steve Rogers pitched, I certainly hope that any doubters that were in Montreal that felt he couldn't win the big game, if they think that now, they ought to move. I got Bill Gullickson with me right now. Gully, of course, is available, if needed today, in the bullpen.
That's right. Before the game, they said don't throw, wait until like the 5th, 6th, 7th inning and see how the game goes. So, went down to the 9th. I knew I wasn't going to throw then. They're going to bring Reardon or Woody in. So I just got my throwing in for Tuesday.
Now, you just threw and you warmed up a little bit. So will you be the starting pitcher on Tuesday?
I think so. They haven't said, but I think so.
Okay, while I got Crow here, too, I have Crow on one side and Gully on the other. Crow, you're the happiest guy in here. I know. You look like a little kid in a candy store.
I thought the last out, I wanted that last out so bad I could taste it. When I saw that ball coming, I think I was going to jump over this roof out here. Steve Rogers did a magnificent job today pitching. He got a couple hits today, and I tell you, he had his breaking ball working, had everything working today. We ran into a little trouble in the 6th inning. When he got Mike Schmidt out in double play, that was a big inning.
A lot of times we talk about defensive plays, putting the club up and giving them momentum. Today, the double play and the play by Jerry Manuel that got the guy at the plate.
Exactly. That was a big run for them, and that was a big play for us. We came through that. To me, I think that was the turning point of the ball game, knowing they didn't get that first run.
I think also jumping out on top. You think it's important, especially against a guy like Steve Rogers, to score first.
And Steve called this because you're going against the best out there. Steve, once you jump on top of Steve, it makes it more
difficult for them to get their momentum because Steve's got to work a lot harder. We knew he threw a lot of pitches today. He didn't throw too many to me because he owned me today. It was simple as that, but I made up my mind I was going to play some defense.
All right, Crow. Wait, Gully had something to say.
Crow jumped after that like a white guy, didn't he?
All right, as you can see, the guys are feeling good, and everybody's talking about, they don't care. You know, most of the guys I've talked to, Ron, even while we haven't been on the air, don't seem to care where they go. They don't care if it's Houston or Los Angeles. I know a lot of people will say they would rather see the team go to Houston because of the record in Houston as opposed to playing the Dodgers in their home field. But they feel they have so much momentum going that it doesn't matter where they're going to be playing. So they're excited. They're going to wait in here, I guess, for the end of that game to figure out which way they have to go. But as it looks now, it looks like it will be Los Angeles. Got a lot of guys on the club who are from L.A. So I have Rich Griffin here, too, and he's going to try and get me somebody to talk to because, again, everybody's kind of at one end of the clubhouse. I think we see Scott Sanderson over there, Rich. We can get Scott. See Ray Burris. Hey, Ray Bones. I can get Ray Burris. He's close to me now. He's 6'5". He's not too far away. If he falls down, he'll touch me. I got Scott Sanderson, too. Scott, I know it's been a little trouble for you the last few starts, but this has to top it off. This has to make you feel better.
It's great. Watching Steve out there today, know that he's thrown just 3 fantastic games in a row. We beat probably the best pitcher in baseball for the second time in a row. This team's just incredible. They don't ever give up. And I'm really grateful that I get another chance to go out there and try to prove myself again.
Oh, I know you will. I know you're the type of person who is determined and does not want to come out of a game early as you did yesterday. How does it feel, especially seeing the guys make the defensive plays that they did today? I think that is one thing that really stands out.
The whole team today, we came into the game confident. And usually against Carlton, I would say we don't usually come in the game with that feeling. They just went out there today and showed why we are where we are. It's because of the character of this team. They just went after them from the very beginning. It's such a great feeling.
Has manager Jim Fanning given you any indication as to when you might be pitching in the next series against Houston or L.A.?
No, we were really just looking at this game today, and we'll take the other ones as they come. I think the way the pitching rotation set up, it'll be the third game we play.
Okay, thanks, Scott. I got Larry Perry's coming right here. LP, come here for a minute. LP, or the big guy, as a lot of guys call him. He's been struggling up at the plate, but today you came out of it, and hopefully you can continue it for another couple of weeks. You really swung the bat super today.
That swung the bat, so good during September. I think it was just a matter of time that, that you're going to have a few games when you're not going to swing the bat well, and it happened to come when we needed it in the playoffs. And, I was disappointed with the way I was swinging, but I come back today and I swung the bat a lot better, and I got I started off one rally and knocked in the other run, and just thank the Lord because He answered some prayers today. Because I tell you, I was praying before the game today because I knew we needed it, and I knew I'd been a disappointment to myself up there, and it was just super.
I know a lot of times you get up there and everybody felt upstairs as soon as you got that first hit yesterday, I believe it was, that it was all green light from there.
Yeah, I swung the bat. I picked up a little something I was doing. I was gripping the bat a little wrong, and it was making me either dip or roll over on it. And if it was a breaking ball, sort of rolling over, and the other balls I was underneath. And then I didn't get a chance to swing it late in the game yesterday. I had to bunt, and I popped it up, and that wasn't so good either. But I come back out here today, and I swung the bat a lot better today. And hopefully we'll just take this right on into that series out in L.A. or Houston, wherever it is.
Hey, tell me about the conversation you had with Frank Pulley over third base.
Well, that was a play today. You play in Steve Carlton, you play in the Phillies. They're the world champions, and he's one of the best. And you want to get every run you can get. And I rounded second. I said, well, I could see, they were going to try to throw Dawson out of the plate. And I said, well, if they do that, then I got to go to third, and I knew I was in there. I got underneath the tag, and I felt the bag, and I felt him hit me, and I knew I was safe. And when he called me out, it was just, I blew up a little bit, but, I was able to stay in the game. I didn't use the magic word over there anyway. And me and Frank were just talking about the races there, and he said my horse didn't come in. And
hey, what was the pitch that you hit off Steve Carlton for the double?
There was a pitch that he was throwing a lot of fastballs today. His breaking ball, I don't think he had a lot of confidence in it today. I don't think it was breaking quite as sharp as it has in the past. and he was throwing a lot more fastball. Either that or the at-bats we put him on in Montreal might have been the reason he didn't throw as many breaking balls, because we laid off of him. And we got a lot of walks up there. And I was thinking today, maybe he was thinking that, all right, I'm going to get ahead of him with the fastball and put him underneath the gun and make him swing on my slider. And he threw a breaking ball for ball one, and I seen the ball good, and I was feeling better because I was swinging a bit better, like you say. And I said, right now you're going to try to get ahead of me. You're going to try to get ahead of me with a fastball away. And he threw the pitch right there. It was low and away right where I was looking, and I drove it off the wall in right center.
Now, just one more thing, and I'll let you go. I know you've been with the Expos for quite some time. You were with them when they had some very, very lean years. So this is especially got to be a good feeling for you.
It's quite a turnaround to come from 76 when we lose 100 and something to the last 3 years when we're in the playoffs and had the best record in the National League during that time. And yet we hadn't been in the playoffs. People would talk about Cincinnati this year and St. Louis, how good they played, and they weren't in the playoffs. Well, how about us? We had the best record in baseball, and we had never been in the playoffs, but we have now. We went out there and we beat the Phillies against the best pitcher there, ace, and we beat him twice in a 5-game series. I tell you, somebody's with you when you do that.
That's right. LP, thanks a lot. Good game. We got a whole bunch of other people down at the other end. Ryan, I think, wait a minute, no, Ray Burris is walking this way. He's got a sandwich in one hand and a big smile on his face. Ray Bourne, I know you were available now in the bullpen if needed. I talked to Gully about that, and you were also.
I was available. I came out yesterday, and I ran good, sweated good, and got all the soreness out. And I went in and told Jim I'd be available today. And, it's just a great effort by Steve doing the job he did. It's just a fantastic job. But, you never know in a situation like this. The Phillies are a good offensive ball club, but Steve just checked them and got that good double play ball out of Mike Smith. And it was just great. The Gully was ready for the bullpen also. So we had all our ammunition down there.
Okay, a good bunch of ammunition, I might add, too. Now, when will you be available to pitch in the next coming series? Do you know, or has anything been said about that?
Nothing has been said right now. I'm sure if it go the way it's been going, Gully will probably start the first game out, and then I'll go the second game, since he did pitch before I did in this series. So we'll just have to wait and see. But the main thing, we're in it.
That's right. Everything's just kind of falling into place. We have these games here. We got another step, and then hopefully another step.
That's true, and we're one step closer, Tommy, and it feels so good. The fellows have fought all year, and I want to give special credit to Jim Fanning and the job he's done after taking over. He's did an excellent job using everybody that we have on the bench, and I got to give credit to the guys for scrapping, and there were times we didn't play that good, but we came back and fought. Yesterday we came back and battled, and we lost in the last inning, but, those things happen. When you lose a game and you give it all you got, then you don't feel so bad. But when you go out and play bad and lose a game, then that really eats away at you inside. But today we went out and played and showed we were champions of the Eastern Division.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ray Bourne. And you're a champion, too, all the time. Brian, if you want to take it for a few more minutes.
Very good. We'll take it back from you, Tommy. I know there's a lot of excitement down there, and I know you want to take part in it as well. I know you just feel great about the victory on top of all of the players.
Okay, Ron, just a minute. I think if you can bring it back to me in a couple of seconds,
Sure, go ahead.
Griffin's going to bring Andre Dawson over to talk a little bit.
Okay, for sure. A lot of people down there?
Yes, there are. He's going to, if you want to take it for a few seconds, it's going to be a while before Hawk's over here.
Very good. We will take it. As a matter of fact, maybe we'll just throw a commercial break right now. And, well, back at Veterans Stadium, if you didn't know already, the Expos have won the National League East Division Championship by shutting out the Phillies and Steve Carlton on the great work of Steve Rogers. The final score, 3-0. And down below, once again, is Tommy.
Okay, thanks, Ron. I do have Andre Dawson, and Hawk, of course, has been swinging the bat better, I think, as each game's been going along, and I think as the victories keep showing up, you're even going to feel better about that, too.
Yes, I think I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable now. I'm still trying to find myself. A lot of guys have been telling me I've been jumping out and just stepping right now and trying to see the ball as long as possible. And I've hit the ball well against the Dodgers in the past, and, that could be a big confidence builder there. But, I'm due to, I guess, explode any time, so hopefully it can happen this next series.
Well, we sure hope so. Being one of many homegrown Montreal Expo players who have come through the system, originally signed by the Expos, this has even got to be an extra special feeling.
Right, and the Phillies really played us tough the last 2 seasons, and I think beating one of the better pitchers in all of baseball twice in a 5-game series also has to be a feat in itself. And Like I said, we still have primarily a young ball club, and it's exceptionally, and I think just outstanding in the fact that we defeated the team who perhaps gave us the most problems this time of the season last year.
Hawk, looking ahead now, it looks like it might be the Los Angeles Dodgers. They have a pretty good lead, I believe a 4-run lead. How are you going to feel about playing Los Angeles?
Well, I would hate to see Houston lose 3 games in a row, but I do feel we owe the Dodgers something, and look forward to playing actually whomever the National League Western Division winner is.
Hawk, I asked. Okay, thanks, Hawk. Andre Dawson has been talking. Again, a super job. He made a good play even in the last inning on the ball that Mike Schmidt hit. He hit the ball very hard. Ron, I got a couple things I want to mention, and I'll throw it back to you. Again, another couple of Philadelphia players came in, Ron. Reed was in a little earlier. Del Hunter and Greg Gross stopped by just to congratulate the guys. It's always good to see those fellas come in and congratulate the players. They've been in this situation before on the other hand, so it's nice to see that. And also, I mentioned to you, Ron, off the air that I guess the celebration in New York might have been wilder, but I think the guys are getting used to this, and I hope they have a chance to get used to it even 2 more times as we look ahead into the season. So if you want to take it away, Ron, I'm going to join the celebration a little bit and have some fun down here.
Okay, save some for me down there, Tommy, and a great job once again. Thanks a lot. Tommy Hutton down in the clubhouse area as the Expos celebrate another victory, another series victory, as they have now taken the National League East Division Championship, and now we can officially say that the Expos have really won something. They have won the National League East. They'll be able to fly that pennant, at least, in the Olympic Stadium next year. But they now will cast their eyes westward to the Los Angeles Dodgers in all likelihood. The Dodgers leading in the 8th inning by a score of 4-0 against the Houston Astros. So the Expos, who will be packing up their equipment and getting aboard a charter, and I imagine, unless that game is tied up, they will know by the time they get to the airport where they will be going. And if it's Los Angeles, of course, they'll fly out to Los Angeles aboard the charter in just an hour or two's time.